Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I might have been muted there for half a split second, but anyway, welcome to Addicted to Loot episode 53 with your buddies Atomic Zero and Tamality. Welcome one and all to the Addicted to Loot podcast, where we are an upbeat gaming podcast from a upbeat gaming conglomerate that produces all sorts of fun things about gaming. If you couldn't tell by all the big buzzwords and phrases, but we do
buzzwords.
We do podcasts. We do Twitch live streams. We do YouTube videos. We do Twitter things on the
Twitter things. We do everything.
Things on all the stuffs, and we do the stuff.
We will be having an official coffee brand coming out soon.
Welcome.
And you know what? We're even going to have candles. It's just this great original, completely original idea that I just came up with.
What would be the sense? Brian's office, Tamality's chalkboard.
I know that every time I smell the Yankee Candle, what is it, Midsummer Night or whatever, I think of you. I think of your house.
Well, my mom always had the candles everywhere.
Yes, that black candle.
Slime, too. Oh, we need slime. That would be...
Oh, my God.
We would be Twitter, like, viral if we had, like, a slime button. Like, if someone said the magical word, we just had, like, a little...
Oh, like Nickelodeon slime?
Yeah, like a little, like a little bucket or, like, a spray can. It's like if someone in chat says the magic word, or like we hit enough cheers, it's like
just all these like gifts show up, and it does the like the MGL horn or whatever, MLG horn. It's slime.
Oh, that would be hilarious. But anyway, welcome to Addicted to Loot episode 53 with your hosts, of course, Atomic Zero and Tamality. We have a lot of stuff in store for you guys today. We actually are going to be doing a little bit special of an episode. We're actually going to be doing more of a playlist-specific episodes, and for those who are just joining us, whether you are live on Twitch, hey everybody in chat, or if you are listening in the future, we usually do news, playlists, and then our free game of the week, which is typically how we set everything up. This week, we're going to do a little bit lighter on the news. We're going to actually do a cool little special feature today that no one's going to see coming. It might be a flash from the past, if you will.
Oh.
And
flash forward to when we do it.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
And, of course, we're actually going to do a lot more on our place. We actually got our hands on a lot of cool stuff this past week, and we want to share it with all of you guys. And, of course, we will do our free game of the week, as always, and then close it out with all the cool, fun stuffs. With that, so, if you have not been living under a rock lately, the Dota 2 International...
Oh, that takes me out.
Not in the Northern Hemisphere.
Oh.
There we go. So, if you haven't been living under a rock, the Dota 2 International has been full steam ahead. I mean, it's been just rolling. And, I don't know, depending on your Twitter feed and everything else, which is hilarious, because I actually, like, religiously watching the International. I have zero, like, coverage on my Twitter. Like, no one is talking about it.
What?
Like, no one I know is talking about it. But,
oh my God.
Tom is the exact opposite. His Twitter feed is
I don't really watch
but
Dota in a like following esports kind of way, but boy, I get every single update like as it's happening.
Because it's like I'm like, why don't I get these people? I'm like, oh my God, guys, Dota 2. Go back, you noob. Okay, but
did you mean data? Oh, engineering Twitter.
So the Dota 2 International, which is the largest gaming tournament, or I guess largest esports tournament to date, with the largest prize pool to date. It actually has been going up every single year. And the big milestone this year is that this will be the very first time ever that the grand prize winners, the team that takes first place, will walk out with double-digit millions of dollars. 10+ millions of dollars will go to the very first team. That means that out of a 5-person team, if you win first place, you instantly will walk away as a multi-millionaire. That just like...
Who wants to be a Mobanier, am I right?
Okay, Regis. For all the people who might not be as old as us out there, you might not get that joke. But,
yeah, he's not on there anymore, is he?
The show is not even on anymore.
Is it? It's not. I thought that they replaced him with,
They did, and then it, like, slowly died.
Oh, rip.
It's like, who wants to win this mint piece of gum? You,
Who
the
wants to be a
audience.
millionaire? Oh crap, we've given away all our money. Who wants to make $5?
Who's this guy? Welcome to our next contestant. Who are you? I'm the janitor. Yes, the janitor.
Cool.
Hey.
Hey.
But
Give him that giant check.
So the Dota 2 TI, the international, is set up in multiple ways. First off, multiple teams, some teams get invited, and then a bunch of other teams actually have to qualify. There's 3 qualifiers from around the world: North America, I think Americas, European, and then Asian. That's usually the 3 areas of qualifiers. So there's a handful of teams that get invited in because of their performance throughout the year in various different Dota major tournaments and just other little competitive things throughout the year. Other people actually, it's like an open entry. Literally anyone and their grandmother could just enter in a team and see what the hell happens.
I'm here for a team of Dota grandmothers.
I would pay.
They
good
gather
money.
around like a cribbage group on like Sunday
I would play
nights.
good money to actually see that.
Oh my god! I bet you that
have
exists.
to play it in Dota VR. That's the only thing. They have to play it in Dota VR. But so these teams, they compete. They I think the top 2 teams from the qualifiers actually make it into the group stages. So the group stages it's something like there's I think like 9 teams in 2 groups, something along those lines. Maybe somewhere like close to 20 teams in 2 groups that basically they play like a round robin style where they're just everyone competes against each other and they're trying to get the best record. The best record during this section or this part of the tournament just gets you a better spot. It gives you an easier way to the title ultimately. So everyone plays for that. They go forward. At this point, we're actually in the main event stage. So we actually are in the main event playing up to the overall grand championship. And there's been some pretty interesting results. I mean, one of the crowd favorites, a Dota favorite, EG, went out actually super early.
Yeah, this was one of the things that I saw a lot of on my Twitter. It looked like people were kind of upset at the way that they played. Like,
I don't know if it's the way that they played. And okay, I'm going to preface this
or the way they didn't play. Maybe
I'm going to preface this hugely with I am not a Dota expert. You can tape it to my forehead. This is just what I've seen in my complete utter lack of Dota experience.
Good disclaimer.
Which
usually
comes
for disclaimers.
Which usually comes down to I play Dota a few times a year and I watch all of the majors and the TI. So take it with a grain of salt. But from what I've seen, I mean, compared to last year, they were just nowhere near the same team. They had I think the majority of the same players. A lot of the teams this year, even the big name teams that did extremely well last year, had a lot of turnover. It seems like Dota is actually a weird little sport in the fact that teams don't stay together all that often, which is surprising to me. But like some people can be on multiple different teams in 1 year, and they're like big name players. Usually like if you want to take like the NFL for example, a superstar will stay on a team for forever.
Right, and if they switch, it's like earth-shattering.
Yeah, but I think another thing is that, I think they play for prize money, so I don't know, besides friendship and, like, chemistry, there's nothing really holding people in on a team, if you think about it. Like, they might get, like, the team itself gets sponsored, and whoever's on the team just so happens to wear that sponsorship. It's not like you or I got the sponsor, you know what I mean? So I guess the kind of difference is like you get on a team that's sponsored versus you yourself are sponsored, so they'll try to get you a spot on a good team.
Right.
It's kind of, I don't know, it's a weird
that's interesting. I never really realized that.
Yeah, it's completely and utterly 180 degrees from the Overwatch League that's trying to be started because they actually will be signed contract athletes for a team, which is interesting. But either way. So, like say I said, EG went out real early. They actually got knocked out today. So super breaking news, if you will. But they actually did okay. I mean, in the group stages, they actually did okay. They did okay enough to the point where did they get into the upper bracket? I want to say I thought they got into the upper bracket, but they were one of the better teams last year. I think they got like top 4, top 3, something along those lines.
Well, as someone who doesn't watch Dota, that's a name that I know, EG. That's, as someone who's just in video games, I've heard the name, so I've got to believe that they're
so EG did make it into... Yeah, that's the thing. EG did make it into the upper bracket, which is big. I mean, it's that you came up in the top half of the group stages, actually maybe a little bit higher than that. But then they got spanked by the team they played there. They got spanked 2-0, and then the one thing about being in the upper bracket is you have 2 shots to make it to the grand finals. Like, you can lose one series and then win the rest of them and still make it in. If you're in the lower bracket, if you lose any series, you're just out. So that's the benefit of being in the 2 different ones. So EG, they got spanked by the first team they played, which was Newbie, who arguably is a good team, but EG was ranked higher, so they got to choose Newbie to play against for their spot.
Oh.
So Newbie spanked them, and then where is it? EG played Empire, who's more of a dark horse team in this. They actually, they squeaked into the qualifiers. They got into the lower bracket somehow. Mm-hmm. They won their first match, which was a pretty hard-fought match. Actually, no. Yeah, no, the first match was pretty hard-fought against Cloud9. Both of those teams, though, were kind of like no-names. So Empire moved forward. EG went to the lower bracket against Empire, who is realistically a weird team. They actually are a team that no one's really giving the time of day because of the fact that their fifth player, who is Resolution. If anyone pays attention to Dota 2, Resolution is a big name player for carry types of classes, or the carrier role in Dota specifically. So he's not like he's a bad player. He's actually a really good player, but he just happened to fill in on Empire as their fifth slot because they lost somebody. Kind of squeaked in. Don't really have that much time to play together, but they're just they're going hot. I mean, they've been going super well. They win their first match. They go up to against EG, where once again everyone's picking. In any other situation, people would have picked EG wholeheartedly, but the fact that they were kind of on a slump, they're like, well, maybe. But still, most people picked EG 2-0, just go for it. They got spanked by Empire. I mean, they lost 2-0. So since the group stages, they went 0-4 to be 100% completely knocked out.
Wow.
And you can't really say, obviously they played bad, but it's not like they played horribly. I mean, the Empire series, some of it was actually pretty close. There is probably a few moments that could have went 50-50 that would completely and utterly change the game for them. So, there was...
So you think that this is on EG? This is
1,000%. But I also think
whether it's bad coordination or just whatever.
To not take anything away from Newbie or Empire, they both played, they played above their level. EG played below their level. That was the problem, ultimately. But, that was a huge hit. Another big one was that OG, who... They didn't win last year, but OG won. They either won 2 out of 3 majors this year or 3 out of 4. I forget how many there are. I'm losing. Like I said, huge disclaimer, But OG was by far the favorite going into this year because they won the most tournaments in the regular season, if you will. But they did really crappy in the in the regular group stages. They did really crappy for them. You might say, most other teams probably be oh, it's not all that bad, but they wholeheartedly missed out on the upper bracket, so they're 100% in the lower bracket. They've been doing well since then. They've been doing, they've been on a good hot streak. They haven't even lost a single game yet, but still, the fact that they were in the lower bracket was huge to begin with. So, it's super exciting so far. The teams that are still in it, Oh, that might be on right now.
Here's the question, though, because you're saying it's super exciting.
I'm missing these because of you people. You better feel freaking special.
The vibe that I was getting is that people were pissed off at EG. And they were pissed off at the whole thing. Not in the way of oh, come on, my team lost, but in the way of they were genuinely upset.
Yeah. I don't know. Dota's, like I said, it's a special animal. Dota, I'm not even... an entire crowd can flip on you like that. Literally one play can turn someone into a fan. There's been so many moments this year where, you may not tell anybody this, but even if I'm watching this at work, in my side monitor, I'm just trying to pay attention, it's just I'm just oh my god! I just jump out of my chair, because there's times where you're sitting there, staring at the screen going, why isn't this character dying? Why isn't he dying?
Right.
Where you see the setup coming, and then, someone magically... out of freaking nowhere, Hail's Mary, this saving ability, and you're instantly what the shit, and then the commentator's just what the oh my god, and then
it's interesting because it's
actually hear the crowd over the Twitch mic go wow.
It's almost like Dota. I don't know if this is indicative of all competitive MOBAs or even competitive video games in general, but it's more so it's almost like a NASCAR race. You're watching it for the excitement of the crazy things that happen. You don't care about the 500 laps, but that one lap where 3 guys are boom, and someone flips over.
Exactly. It's
versus baseball, football, where you're following a team and they lost this season. They'll bring their game next season.
Well, there's just so many exciting parts about Dota, because especially these matches, each match is set up. There's a drafting phase where the captains take turns picking and banning characters to assemble their playing team for that match. So,
which I always think is a really fascinating.
I love that part of it
because it's a head game.
Exactly. Like some teams, like there's teams like Virtus Pro, who their strategy, they're a Western style Dota team, which means that they're just uber aggressive and they just run at you. They don't care. They just want to beat you to the ground. Most of the time, their lineups, they're picking what they're picking, and they don't give a crap what you're picking. Like this is what we want to do. We're doing it. Sure. Then there's teams like Secret was a good one, Liquid's a good one, where they just have these captains that are just so like there's so
someone
much.
Picks someone and they know immediely who will counter that. Like,
or not even that. There's just so much Dota strategy locked up into their one freaking head that like you can. The best part is like the. As part of this stuff, like it's the international. They have experts there analyzing everything. So it's hilarious to hear a panel of 4 experts that are made up of both like old professional players, coaches who professional players who have won a TI, coaches who have coached people to a TI, people that have been playing this game for like 15 plus years, and they're going, I have no fucking idea what he's doing in this draft. Do you know anything? I have no freaking idea. Why the hell did he pick that? I have no idea. And then there's like 4 picks later, they, out of the right field, they pick this hero that no one's expecting. They're like, oh my god, I know what he's doing now. Oh my god, can you believe he's doing this? And it's just like, it's fun. Like that's before the game even starts. People get revved up for it. And then you have the whole match. There's some matches that go for like 20 minutes. There's one match so far that's went for 2 hours. I mean, like, it's just like so insane to see these things happen. It's just, and that's why I love watching this game more than I like playing this game. I love playing it. When you get to watch it and you see one of these plays that just like, it's like your entire experience just changes on one play. Like,
sure. I think that you need to either, coming from a perspective of someone who has played MOBAs but doesn't play Dota, you either need to know how MOBAs work or have played it or have some sort of tutorial, because you can. I remember years ago, like watching highlight reels of Dota plays and being like, why is that a thing? Like, why are they so excited about it?
I get that something happened. Have you seen the Wombo combo video? Like the original Wombo combo video. Like that started it all. That was probably what
I saw.
TI1 or 2, and that was a Na'Vi play, which is Na'Vi was the original team that got me into Dota. Fun fact, this is the first TI ever that Na'Vi has not participated in, nor their all-star player Dendi has participated in, which is interesting. Dendi who is the guy... I was
trying to remember his name.
Dendi, who was the guy who starred in Free-to-Play, the Dota movie.
Yes, I was going to put a plug for that.
Fun thing, if you just want a vision into esports, like the background of it, great video to watch. Really amazing video to watch. So Free to Play
is available on Steam for free. I'm sure it's available other places too, but it's a really great sports film.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly. It's like a 30 for 30, but for esports. If you know what 30 to 30 is for people out there. But I highly recommend it. And Tom, I'm glad you brought this up, for the fact that when you're saying that you need to know MOBAs and things like that. This year, I think it was the first time they've actually done it, there's actually a newbie, or like, what are you going to call it, beginners Dota TI stream.
They have done that in the past.
Oh, they have? For TI?
They have, yes.
Because
which is really cool, but I gotta imagine difficult
it this year, because this year, every single time I watch it, someone references it like 5 times. They're like, do you know we have a beginner stream? It literally is the exact same cast, but there's like, I don't know if anyone remembers this, I'm gonna date myself again, but do you remember like the MTV videos where like they do like, bloop, did you know that this background character... Or like
the little tips that would show up on the music video.
Like, it took them 5 weeks to get this shot straight. Or the old like MTV like blind date show or something like that. Like something weird's gonna happen in 3, 2, 1. I hate your hair. Whoa! But
Dr. Love says,
So it's basically the exact same stream, but like there's so many
Oh
things
my
that pop
God.
up. Like someone will say, "Oh, he bought an item. Oh, that item's gonna make a big deal difference." I go, "Blink! This item, what this item does, it does these things, and this is
Wow,
why
they're
it's
doing
cool."
that in real time?
Yeah, like it's blung,
Whoa.
and they're like, "Oh, this character, like what happened there? Blung, this character. This is the move he used. This move actually means these things. Like this move prevents this guy from doing things and stuff like that." So
The thing is, like, Dota actually has a lot of little intricacies to learn.
yeah,
Like,
there's
even if
a ton.
even if you know a MOBA, like we've talked before, a MOBA that we both like is Heroes of the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
That's like probably from my experience the most entry level one in terms of what you need to know. Okay, I have picked this guy. I need to kill that guy
Yep.
and get to that thing. That's my goal. You know, then the maps introduce like really easy to parse goals. But Dota introduces items. It's got these abilities that are very specific to certain scenarios, certain heroes. You know, there's a lot that's, you know, and the whole thing that they're trying to do with a competitive thing like the international is they're trying to do unexpected stuff. So like the commentators are in this position of, well, he's coming forward with this skill because this would counter that. Oh shit! What just happened? You
Oh yeah,
know?
it's a mixture.
So-
it's the same thing. You know, football they always have. There's a play-by-play guy who does like literally the details, and then there's a color commentator who either gives
Right.
you like analysis or the hype man or whatever else. Like,
That reminds me, I always loved, I think it's the one that I have is NBA Live 2002, I think it was, for the PS2. And because my last name is Jordan and, you know, I'd make a custom character.
and you can they
it
have
would
Jordan.
always be like, and Jordan goes for the dunk, you know. But it'd be funny because it'd be like, you know, Michael was a former first-round pick. I'm like, who's Michael?
Jordan goes
Oh.
for the hole. Woo! Jordan!
Yeah. And it was just so funny because it was like, oh, your last name is Jordan. Okay, we're going to just use all our comments for Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I still remember back when sports games started to let you pick a last name for that reason. And it started out as being, if you have a last name of someone already in the game,
Like that,
good
exactly.
luck.
Yeah.
Now they're actually starting to do it where they'll just have like shit tons of them. That like,
Yes,
but
they do. What was it? NBA Street let you pick a nickname from a
yeah,
pretty good list.
That's
And
the
so
other
it was
thing.
like,
Like there's multiple ways they would do it, but
it'd be like the unit or the kid or
you know,
things
the
like
Rock,
that.
the
The Rock.
Decimator.
The
But-
Decimator goes for the long distance. Call it. You know, it was great
Exactly.
stuff. I love that stuff.
But yeah, you probably said it great. Like, you know, Heroes of the Storm is like, I'm trying to think of good analogies here, but Heroes of the Storm to me is like the old like Atari joystick. You think about one thing. It's
Going
one
in these
hand,
directions and you press the button.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's one thing you have to worry about because all Heroes of the Storm is, all you worry about is building your skills. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You have all your skills when you very first start out. All you do is you pick how to buff them. That's all you
Yep.
do.
Yep.
Then you get something like League of Legends, where it's, I think that's probably the next iteration, maybe.
I'd say so. Yeah.
League of Legends is usually known for being more of a, if you want to play a MOBA, try League of Legends kind of thing. League of Legends is like, okay, not only do you have to worry about your skills, but now you have items into it. And
Right.
if you don't want to deal with the stuff in the center of the map, you don't have to. Just worry about other players. You don't have to worry about jungling.
Right.
You don't have to worry about going anywhere else. Like, I remember playing League quite a while in college, and I actually had a pretty good career just literally being in one of 3 lanes. I never went in between them besides traveling. Like,
League was the first MOBA I played and I understood it, but
Yeah.
I also felt overwhelmed like, oh, I'm not good enough. I need to either devote myself to this or play it more, just practice it more. Dota is the first one that I got into and it was like, here's your objective, go. Okay, there's no shades of gray here. I'm
no,
like,
it's and then
do the thing.
and then you have Dota, which isn't even the next one like in the progression. Like, it literally should be like, Here's the Storm, a little bit up, League of Legends, probably 10 other games, and then Dota.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Dota's like you said, they plop you in, no training wheels, no nothing, which I actually do think they have a how to play now. But still, Dota, you have to worry about your skills, you have to worry about your items, you have to worry about your positioning, you gotta worry about where everyone else is positioned, you gotta worry about how you play the map, you gotta worry about how things spawn, the time at which they spawn, you gotta worry about when certain things drop, you need to worry about how quickly you need to pace yourself, and it goes on and on
All
and
of this
on
stuff
and on.
all of this stuff with the added element of randomness. Of
Exactly.
Human teammates, human opponents.
Because it could literally be that if this one type of camp spawns at this location, I can do this. But if they don't do that, I need to know that I need to readjust my complete strategy and go this way. Like, and people
feel
do
like
that on the fly without thinking about it.
I feel like both Heroes of the Storm and League are MOBAs you can play along with other video games, but Dota is a game that basically
People
the game
live
you play.
like
That's the game you play. It's like a sport. It's like being an athlete in a sport.
this is a direct quote from one of the actual pro analysts. That's like one of the three people that are on stream at all times, minus like in match. People he's like, oh, people will come up to me and they say like, oh, how do you become a pro player? He's like, how long have you played? He's like, oh, I played like 5 years. He's like, okay, come back to me in 10. What? Yep. Like he's like, that's literally how you do it. You have to play.
And what's an added element on that is there's all this stuff that rears its head from time to time, articles and things saying that like after like your mid-20s, you start to decline.
Yeah,
like
it's
in your skill, your just hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, because your natural ability within your body just starts to go out. Neurons kind of
right.
It literally is a reaction thing.
You slowly start to die.
This has been your lovely moments addicted to
as two people who are well past their mid-20s now.
Well, I'm officially
happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
ATL Atomic Zero.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, freshly 1 year older, I can already feel my reflexes slowing up. But there's actually...
But that's why you see, like, if you watch and you have no knowledge...
That's what they actually say that there's, people say, like, oh, you get out of football by, like, 30 because of the fact that your body's being beat up and you're slowing down. Same thing with esports.
With esports, it's like 25.
Your reaction times go down. And we all know by playing LAN parties in Halo or something stupid, beating someone to the A button could mean all the difference. And
as someone who spent almost all of yesterday playing Lucio.
Exactly. I mean, it's just...
Lucio Ball, excuse me.
Yeah. It's just, literally just how it is. It's like, there's like a prime point for esports players. It's just how it happens. It's unfortunate, but it's just how humans work. We're not made to be all-stars. But I think I can remember at least 2 players that are like 25 plus on good teams.
Wow.
There's one player, I think his name is Miracle, but I might be completely off. There's one player who's like the grandpa of Dota. Like he's been around since the dawn of time for Dota. I think he's like 28, 29, and he's still like playing on a main team at a pretty good level. Like, and people are like, we just want him to get one because he's like the one person that still has yet to win a TI.
Oh man!
But he's been around like forever.
We won't quit.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been loving this.
Grandpa XXX Destroyer 69.
Oh yeah, I mean, Dota 2, it's just fun to watch. I mean, I definitely agree. Like, you could watch it and not know what's happening. Obviously, you could do the newbie stream, and it probably will help. But you need to know, like, again, the standard outline of a MOBA to really kind of get the general gist of it. But it's just so much fun to watch because hearing the crowd, hearing the commentators, watching the live streams of, like, the players' reactions, it's just so much fun to watch.
Do you think that it's something that has an appeal, maybe more so to someone, because you're a person who watches sport, like other sport on TV? Like you'll follow, and you'll appreciate it. I know that there are people who just will turn on the sport.
Yeah, it's a stigma of people saying esports is not a sport.
That's not necessarily. But that's its own thing. That's
the brick wall. I mean, because a lot of people, I love real sports. I love esports.
Right.
There's some people that's like, there's a wall there. It's like, unless you physically tackle another beast to the ground, it's not a sport.
That's its own thing, and it's its own separate argument entirely that I don't even know if we can or should go into. But what I mean is, like, do you think that someone who's more predisposed, like you, to watching a football match on TV would be more keen to watching this versus...
If you are a sports fan and you also play video games that aren't first-person shooters, I would say tune into Dota 2. I mean, the TI is the spot to start. If the TI doesn't get you ramped up for an esport, nothing will. I mean, it literally is, like I said, it's a $20+ million event.
Yeah.
There is a shit
I'd love
ton...
to see it in person. Like,
Yeah,
to be in the
me and
arenas.
a buddy of mine who got me into Dota, like the original guy who introduced me to Dota, had been dying to have a chance to be like, we'll just, one of these times, we'll just take the entire week, buy tickets, and just whoosh. But he actually went to the Boston Major. Like, he actually got to see
wow.
it, and he said it's friggin' incredible. Like, the energy that's in the
sure.
room alone, it will make you, like, want to be a fan. So, like I said, I would definitely recommend it to people who play games, but maybe above the first-person shooter level. I mean, because there's just not the same level of, like...
It's funny because I was getting in a conversation earlier this week on Twitter about the difference between something like that and like watching a first-person shooter. It's actually, for me, I feel like something like Dota is easier to parse because it's a field. You're looking down at a field, you're seeing the pieces moving, and if you know what's going on, it's easy to say, oh, yep, that boom, 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 these two guys are fighting. But a first-person shooter... more often than not, when they're showing it, it's through the perspective of random players. And it's like to me, I think when you're in a first-person game, you're not looking necessarily where the player is looking. Like, your screen could be showing this, but you are looking here at that point on the upper left.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, I mean...
And so it's hard to gauge kind of what a player might be thinking because the camera angle is just this broad screen.
Yeah, Dota 2 at least, you actually see it from the commentator's perspective. Like, you actually see, like, you get to see the entire map, and you can just zoom around it. Basically,
and there's a degree of just visible targeting, like you shoot an attack and you can see the projectile go.
Like, and people can actually say, like, oh, you can see that they're rotating this way, look at the map. And
right.
As opposed to, like you said, I mean, if you watch it through Dota, like the Dota 2 game actual display, you can actually tune in and, like, toggle like a certain player's view. Like you can see like, oh, this is what this guy is seeing at this moment, and you actually will see the fog of war and everything else. You get to see where they're clicking it, to see where their eyes are going.
It's like those what they show eye tracking things. Like they'll do those clips of like a scene from a movie, and it's like here's where everyone's eyes were during the scene. You see like the little kind of like heat map of where everyone looked. That stuff's always really interesting to me.
But yeah, no, I definitely
fact, slightly related to that, but I'm always happy to share this. Did you know that the reason why Mad Max Fury Road was so successful with its action was because all of it is in the center of the screen? If you go back and watch it, all of the action, the stuff that you need to focus on is happening in like the middle third of the screen. They'll have these big sweeping views, but it's always centered on whatever you're supposed to be focusing on.
So you're saying it was so successful because people didn't have to turn their head?
That's a lot of work.
But I never thought about it.
But no, it helps with coherence. I'm thinking about this because recently...
it's always
this is going like... Look. Yeah, this is going way off track. But recently Game of Thrones, two episodes ago, had a scene on a pirate ship, and the fight was this... Yeah. Takes a lot of explanation to get to this point. The scene was this like really choppy, chaotic, like, oh, and now he's over here, and now this is happening. Maybe that was a design choice. Oh, this is a chaotic fight.
Whoa, what's happening? Yeah.
I'm hyperventilating and it's stuttering and stuff, but it's impossible to follow. Instead of being like, wow, I'm in the middle of the action, you're just like, oh, I can't watch.
Motion sickness, yeah.
Yeah, so I kudos for Mad Max, a movie that has continued to get justified praise.
No, definitely. So just to close this out, I definitely recommend anyone who's listening, just give it a shot. It's running, if you are listening to this in the future podcast when it comes out on Friday, you will still have 2 days to watch the final 3 or 4 matches. Like literally, I think the the grand final is Saturday or Sunday. It's one of the two.
Oh, I hope it's Sunday because I'd like to watch it.
Yeah, it is just like, even if you watch just the grand final, it alone is incredible. Like
I've tried to tune into them in the past, the final stretch of stuff.
Like I definitely would recommend anyone go on. You can go if you go to Dota2.com. It's an easy way to land yourself there with the scheduling and everything else, or you can just go straight to twitch.tv/DotaTI.
Can't you stream it within Dota?
If you own Dota, but you have to buy the Battle Pass. You have to buy
that's
the
what
codex.
It is. Yes. Yeah.
You might be able to watch it without the codex, but if you have the codex and watch it, this is something cool that Dota does, that if you watch it through the game itself with the codex unlocked, when you watch it, if you see something happen as you watch it, there's a random chance that you will receive a special item for witnessing an event. And there's so many of them every single match that it's actually decently high. I told the story before where I actually won one, like TI3.
Yeah.
I had like 50 people all of a sudden friend me and start messaging me. I'm like, how did I get so popular? I'm like, man, look at me. Look at me go.
Free stuff, please.
I got absolutely full of myself. I'm like, oh, look at me. I must have done something really cool. And then it's just like, you want this thing? And I'm like, well, I don't use it. I don't like that character. I got like
give me free stuff.
I got like a random cosmetic for a character that I hardly use. I'm like, I don't give a damn. And like, but then I had so many people ask me at once. I'm like, I asked my buddy, I'm like, is this really worth that much, or are people just losing their shit over nothing? He's like, do you understand what you have? Like, nope, not whatsoever. But yeah, it's because I saw funny. It was like me and like 4 other people in the world now had this cosmetic. Like, just like cool. I mean, they're far cooler now to begin with. I mean, but so that's a cool thing that they do. And I wish I would have done it. Like, I wish I would have had the forethought to do it and like just leave it up on my computer 24/7 just so I can maximize it. Because as much as I don't play Dota, and I say this every single TI, I want to play more of it. There's so many uber cool cosmetics that I would just kill to have. Just for the fact that I'd probably play it more if my character looked cool. Like, there's a character on Kunkka who's basically a pirate, since we're going with the pirate theme. His ultimate is called Ghost Ship, and it's like literally a ghost ship off screen comes up, it's made out of water, just whee, and splashes, and like it hits people. There's a specific cosmetic set now that you could get just by earning enough points through the codex that turns his boat into a ghost shark. Like, it's a giant shark that goes across screens and whoosh. Like, that alone
That's cool.
Like, if I got that, I would play that character non-stop till the end of time because I'm like, look at the shark, look at the shark.
This is awesome.
Brian, we don't need that character. Look at the shark.
Do I look like I care?
Do I look like I give a damn? But yeah, so I
No, that's like, again, because I've been playing, like, super binging Overwatch these past 24 hours. I've unlocked so many, because when you play Lucio Ball, the crates, chests, whatever you want to call them, come hard and fast until you max out, for the week. And I got so many gold skins for Bastion, Zenyatta.
Characters you don't play.
Like, Symmetra, characters I'll never play. But I wish you could trade skins in Overwatch.
That would be a lot of fun, actually. That would be really cool. Which is, that was a TF2 thing, so who knows? But nah, I think you can also do
some of my best TF2 stuff came from trades.
Yeah. So, like I said, just closing this out, Dota 2 TI going on strong. Definitely exciting to watch this year. If you need help, if you want a buddy to watch it with, let me know. Hey, that way. There you go. But yeah, like if you ever need any help, just send me a message or something. Considering I'm hoping I can still watch it, but I might not still be watching it because I actually will be in Scotland this weekend. So.
What?
Yeah, you know about that.
I didn't know you were going to Scotland.
It's why I can't stream for the next 2 weeks.
But I didn't know you were going to friggin' Scotland.
Yes, now I am.
I didn't know that.
But anyway.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that I can actually catch some of it, maybe. Don't tell anybody. But, so with that, we are going to go on to our next and final Dota update for the game day. For the game day.
For the game day.
Dota, game day. There is a big announcement that took place during the TI, during one of the main events, during one of the breaks within the games. There was this big announcement that they said, bum-ba-da-da, new update to Dota. And there's this like huge build-up, like music playing, smoke, fog, mirrors, a clown. It was just like, what the hell is going on?
5 cars.
And then it's like, I can't even remember what the hell was the I can't remember the name of the artifact. And then it literally is this 20 to 30 seconds teaser trailer. It just ends with artifact, and you're like, okay.
And it says the Dota card game.
That's it. That's the entire. That's all we know. It's just that Dota's announcing a card game for 2018. That was the entire like huge like action movie build-up. Was just to go, yeah, we're probably doing a card game, guys.
Everyone's probably seen it by now, but
we're doing a card game. But we would like some details. It has cards. Ooh, what's the theme? Dota. Thank you.
Everyone's probably seen it by now, but there's a video of the moment in the arena or wherever the
stadium.
TI's stadium that's happening in, and you just see the screen, and you can hear the room going, oh, and the logo shows up. They're like, oh, this is Artifact, oh, the Dota card game. And like one guy goes, what?
it's like what? I don't know if they
It
want to
was
get
you
on the
can't script this kind of
like
stuff.
I don't know if they were just getting on the Hearthstone bandwagon.
Well, it's so weird because
like,
I
everyone's
like
coming out
card
with a
games.
game, but
I like
love them
CCGs
too.
a lot, actually.
I mean, I love card games. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like it seems like it's like the World War II game of this week. So it's
Someone
like,
else said, what is it, like the kart racers were in the 90s, where every
Yeah.
franchise had a kart racer?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's
Mario,
the
Sonic.
feeling of, because it's easy to make, right? Okay, we've got characters, put them on cards, give them little descriptions and numbers, boom, they're all set.
But here's the thing. Dota only has so many heroes. There's a lot of them, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole
Card game decks have
exactly
tens of thousands
card
of-
games are all based on variety. If
Yeah.
you take just the heroes, it's going to be super repetitive, super
Mm-hmm.
quick. If you add in like the neutral creeps, the different types of camps.
Oh yeah, no,
Roshan,
there's going to be like a card that
items.
represents the strongholds. You know,
like,
there's going
but
to be
like
a card
I don't know, I don't know how they're going to do it.
jungle
Like, is there gonna like
things.
Dota, like the items are based on money, but how are you gonna earn money in a card game? Like, is it gonna be like I play this character, he has an attack of 5. I play this character, he's typically a support character, so he has an attack of 1, but
Yeah.
he can stun you for a turn or something.
Or he
like,
does a guard ability. It's
yeah,
going
like
to be
I don't know how they're gonna. I really don't know how they're gonna make it work with the Dota meta as it sits
Yeah.
right now. Like the color palette, fine. The art style, it's gonna be great.
Oh, sure.
I just don't. I just mechanically, I don't know how they're gonna incorporate
It's probably
the
just
heroes,
going to be
the creeps, the items.
Yeah, it's probably just going to be a reskin of Magic. And,
I'm thinking it's
similar
gonna be
stuff.
like, everything else they have. You're trying to kill the other player's life pool.
Mm-hmm.
Dota's easy because you're just going to try to kill the other person's ancient, but maybe you got to work through their tower first. Like there's 2 towers before you can hit their ancient.
That
or,
could
like,
that could be an interesting twist on it, where you have instead of the one playing field, and you're ultimately going for. I'm thinking of like the Hearthstone setup. You're ultimately going for the HP of the ancient.
it's kind of like
You've got tiers. You've got 3 tiers, or
it's kind of like
2 or 3 tiers.
Morrowind Legend. No,
Elder Scrolls Legends.
it's like how they
Sort
have,
of.
but because how they have like the shadow side of the screen,
Right.
It'd be
Right.
like that, but with one more avenue: mid
Yeah,
lane, left lane,
flipped.
right lane,
Yeah.
and one side.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it
You're
would
right.
be like mid lane would be equal distance for both of you.
Mhm.
Another lane would be slightly longer for you, so it might take longer to hit the ancient. But
Okay,
you know what I mean?
actually,
Like,
that's now it's interesting.
it's like the middle is same.
Yeah.
Like one side is shorter and one side is longer. The shorter is better for defensive. The longer it's better for attack. You're
Right.
kinda like it might be
If
interesting
they-
to find out, but I don't know how they're going to do it.
If they do that and they are truly making a Dota card game, like
Which
it's
is
not
what it
a
sounds like.
yeah, it's not a
As opposed
reskin
to like
of
yeah.
Magic and things like that, where it's just okay, we've got our units that's got our HP and our attack. If they, I mean, they can do that. That's a pretty essential card game thing. But then introduce the lanes and introduce tiers that you have to go through. Now it feels Dota specific.
Yeah.
And of course, and this is being made by Valve, so
Yeah, which is a nice thing. I mean,
I trust
they're
them.
definitely doing it.
yeah.
Like I said, I'm interested in playing it because it's funny. Like, I'm not a huge PvP person, but I'm all for PvP in card games. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
like for some odd reason, card games seem like they're that's appropriate. But PvP in any other way, like even PvP in Dota, MOBAs, first-person shooters, MMORPGs, I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to do it. Can't we all be friends? Card games, I'm like, I'm gonna destroy you. Like, I don't know why. Like, it's just like
it's a little more impersonal, I think. Like,
maybe that's the fact. Maybe it's just like, oh,
if you're laying down cards, it's kind of a feeling of like luck of the draw. It's a
yeah,
little
it's like,
bit of
oh,
a
your
feeling
deck
of
beat mine. That's a cool strategy. I need to remember that one. Which is
Right.
why I hated Hearthstone, because so many times I feel like,
oh yeah,
this is bullshit.
it's your deck. It's
It's
yeah.
like there's nothing I could have done. Like no matter how good of a player I was, luck, random number generation caused me to lose this match. The salt is real. Like that's
Yeah.
like it's like that's what pissed me off about Hearthstone, which is why I didn't play it. That's why I at least like Elder Scrolls Legends, Magic the Gathering. If you have a good enough strategy, sometimes you can win your way out of a bad situation. So
Yeah, I really like Elder Scrolls Legends. That's my favorite card game, at least at the moment.
I would agree with you, definitely. But I'm interested in a Dota card game.
Oh yeah, I
We'll
want
see
to
what
see. And
happens.
odds are it's going to be free to play.
Yeah, it's
You
probably going to
know.
be through Dota 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be come out 2018, so who knows? But
And something like this is so a card game and a MOBA tie in together so well. Do this, and you unlock that for this game. You know?
yeah, it's true.
Either one goes in either
And
direction.
it'd be nice if they actually did one where they actually did it where you play a card, it becomes 3D.
Oh, I've always wanted that.
You say
yeah.
attack, the character runs over, does an animation,
Yeah.
runs back.
Yeah.
But they can kind of already do it because if you watch the TI on screen versus in person, like there's two booths where the team sits in, and then there's like a giant like LED table, like
Right.
a stage that they sit on. Like the entire stage is like animated,
Mm-hmm.
and like they'll pick a hero, and on this. They obviously in TV form you can like see the guy won't come to life and he looks
Yeah.
like he's standing full life scale in front of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
When you actually see the in screen view, it's like there's an icon on the floor and you're actually seeing it up top. But
Yeah.
still, like they
It's
already have,
sort of like augmented reality,
exactly
but not.
like do that, but in the game, like or give me a VR card game. That would be the shit.
Well, there are, speaking of augmented reality, there have been, for at least a decade and a half now, I've seen examples of where, someone takes a card, and it's because it's got a certain kind of symbol on it or something, you're able to have a 3D figure on the card. So, I want the chest from Star Wars. That's what I want. I want the hollow chest. They have
the hollow chest.
The
Yeah.
holographic claymation figures.
Mm-hmm.
I want it specifically with claymation figures, though. Just things
You
going,
don't want to like instead of
"Argh."
text messages or voicemails, you can leave. Damn it! I got his messages again. Whoa! Hey, Tom,
a
where the hell
holographic
are you?
rancor shows up.
Yo, what up, bro? Come on, where the hell are you? Meet me up. And you're like in a meeting. Oh, sorry guys, I gotta take this. Whoa! Hey, what's up, guy? Oh, shit,
Yeah,
go
Star Wars
off.
technology is actually really inefficient.
But I think that would be
It's like,
hilarious.
oh, hang on, my wife is calling me. You asshole! Oh,
Let's just close that down. Don't you
You're
dare
like
put
trying
your
to-
hand on me.
You're like trying to cover it up, and your hands just going through it. It's like, whoa! I can tell you're doing that.
Don't you dare.
The thing I never understood about it, and the only time I've ever seen it kind of put into practice, I think, is in Mass Effect, where they actually show the character, like with the Elusive Man, they stand in a
Yeah.
space. But how does it, like... It's always the character is standing right in the perfect space.
Like right
It's
in,
just
it's
like-
like I think it's kind of like if you imagine what the Vive is.
Yeah.
It'd be like that with somehow instead of actually wearing sensors,
Yeah.
it's able to have such of a boundary detection that it can just pick up the lines, both your physical lines, closed lines,
But
facial lines.
they're
all that.
like,
and it just
if say
lets that over.
Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yeah.
is talking to somebody and he's got a little holographic thing in his hand and the little figure is there, they're looking up at Obi-Wan and then it cuts to them and they're looking down at a digital Obi-Wan. Like,
Oh,
shouldn't
yeah,
they be
yeah,
looking down? Like, it'd be really weird because it's just like, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm good. I'm just looking at the floor. Oh,
it could just
okay.
be like
well-
an avatar thing where like your body's your
Yeah.
avatar and they map your face to it and it's kind of
yeah,
but-
I think they skipped that step in their development.
yeah.
It was like
But either we
Atomic versus...
yeah, we digress. But
Yes.
Dota 2 card game coming out 2018. Stick around for it.
yeah.
Speaking of PvP stuff,
Anyway,
If
that's our
I-
first hour.
if I Tom, if I told you that Gearbox is coming out with a game, what game would you tell me?
Wow, I can't wait for a new Borderlands game from Borderlands.
Well, you're shit out of luck because they're not making one. Oh, actually,
I
just
didn't
kidding.
see this coming.
They are making one. Don't run knives and pitchforks at me right yet. But they actually
Okay.
announced a new game that is not Borderlands that is coming out. That's a Gearbox game, and it's interesting because it's going to be a 1v1 PvP shooter. Okay, I'll repeat myself. A 1v1 PvP competitive shooter. That's the entire game.
Now here's the extra
1v1.
thing.
1v1.
Here's the extra thing.
1v1.
1v1 first-person combat shooter with the metagame. I'm reading a quote here.
yeah,
with the
metagame.
metagame strategy of a collectible card game.
So is
This
it-
sounds like when you do your buzzword-filled introduction to the stream.
Like, is this gonna be like? Did you ever play? Oh, what the frick? Something Showdown. There's kind of like, there's like a gladiator-based game that also has card-based mechanics of it. I'm basically thinking of, is this gonna be a game where like, as you play, as you gain hits or something, you gain points, and like all of a sudden you can play a card that's like bazooka, and or is it gonna be like you lose a round, Like, or sorry, I win a round, I get 100 points to play for this next round, and then like,
Actually,
is it gonna be
a MOBA that
Force
we forgot
Showdown? Yeah, Force Showdown.
a MOBA that we forgot to talk, well, didn't talk about is Paragon, which is a cool kind of unique one that
Paragon.
has not necessarily collectible card game kind of
But
stuff,
a card
but it
mechanic
has
to it.
card game mechanics where when you're picking your, with MOBAs, you're picking skills to level up your character. This one does it through a deck that you can build outside of it.
I do really like Paragon. Paragon is a fun
Yeah,
game.
Paragon's really cool. Paragon is a MOBA for people who want the feel of a third-person game. Third-person
someone
shooter.
who can like basically play a MOBA with a controller.
Yeah.
Paragon's your game. So yeah, this is an interesting. I don't know. I'm not like I said, I'm not a huge FPS fan. I just feel like, and I'll explain it to you this way. I loved FPS PvP when it was a LAN game with your buddies, and you're all just like, "Huh, you're an idiot. Huh, no, you suck," and it's just fun.
Battlefield 2.
Halo 1, Halo 2,
1.
Halo 3. Like, games that were just fun-filled because no matter what, you played with the people in the room that you were friends with. Nowadays, FPS PvP is all about you and some guy in, like, Colorado or Montana, like, beating up on each other, calling each other, like, idiots, and, like, insulting each other's mamas, and then, like, threatening to come down to their house and punch their face in. It's like, dude!
Ah, yes, the typical FPS arc.
It's like, but it's just like, but we're supposed to, like, we're on the same team. You get that? We're not even like fighting each other, and you're bitching me out. It's like, whatever happened to like people just being like, ha 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 ha? No, like people will literally sit there, write out a long like poison pen letter mid game as they're looking at someone, send it.
This
sit
is
there,
more important.
wait for them to get it, receive it, react to it, and then shoot them. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of mind games is this? Like, this is this is the world we live in.
Interesting thing. I'm gonna keep bringing this up because it's so fresh in my mind. But as I was playing Lucio Ball, and intro, which is a game that I love, by the way. An interesting thing about Lucio Ball. Now, this is a mode within Overwatch, and yes, I will be talking about it again later. But this is a mode within the game of Overwatch. When people when people are winning, or the teams are fairly even. When people are winning or the teams are fairly even, the vibe is usually either good or non-existent. You know, it's like, nice shot. Like, I've seen people on either side, commend the other side. When people are losing really badly or enough to be frustrated, they blame the game mode. They don't tend to blame each other.
This game sucks. It's not balanced.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's really interesting, and there's a social experiment or some sort of data to be grabbed here because I think it's a game within Overwatch. People are like, oh, I've always hated this game mode anyway. When they're losing,
like brushing it off.
Yeah, or oh, I'm just so shit at this game mode, but I'm here for the loot, boxes that you get.
Fine.
Whereas when it is the game, it's like, screw you for not doing this or doing that or for dying or for living, whatever.
How dare you pick another defense character?
An interesting thing, which is, again, why I feel Overwatch does a lot really well with its arcade mode. Its brawls and things like that.
I agree. There's every once in a while there is some...
We've championed the merits of
I worked with a guy who plays Overwatch, which I haven't played Overwatch with him yet, because sometimes, literally, like, his goal each night is just to piss off someone so much that they, like, disconnect. Like,
oh my god.
Like, so he'll just, like, go into, like, open voice mic and just see what he can do. Like, he's the kind of guy, he's like, some men just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, chaos
like,
is a ladder.
Yeah, it's like, he's that kind of guy. Just for poops and giggles. Not because it's malicious, just because he's like, I want to see. So, like,
well,
that's
it
what I'm
takes
like,
all
there's just those types of people. So it's like, for me, going back to the Gearbox game, which hasn't had a title yet, by the way, which is why we're calling it the Gearbox game. For me, personally, I feel like Salt only gets multiplied when it's 1v1. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's a group thing, you could blame other players, you could blame the map, you could blame whatever. But when it's 1v1, if that person just, like, smokes you, like, shuts you out, the chances of you, like, bashing your keyboard over your own knee, like, jumps up 10x times. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this game better be amazing, because if not, it's gonna cause like the most like property damage of all time, in my personal opinion. So hopefully it's a good game, which maybe it will be. I'm not saying anything negative against it. I'm just saying I could see a 1v1 competitive shooter be a little interesting.
It's too personal for me.
Exactly.
I have a hard enough time
I think
with
that's
3v3.
the reasoning why. It's just literally one guy beating you, and it's be like, hey, what, you can't get a shot off? Hey, what are you, some kind of stupid noob? Like,
yeah, there's that one mode in Overwatch that does that, and I haven't played it yet for that reason.
I played it one night continuously because I wanted to get the Santa Claus Torbjorn, and I was maximizing my loot chest drop rate, and that was the only one left that, like, you just need to win one game. I'm like, grr.
Yeah, that's the thing. You just need... It knew that it was a dickish game mode.
5 tries to win one game. And it's just like... And I won it on the last freaking guy.
Ugh,
and it's just like... That's the only reason why I played it. Besides that, I'm just sitting there going, oh, I hate this game. Like, why are you forcing me to play this?
The only time I like 1v1 is exactly like you were saying. When you're in the room with the person that you're playing against, or you know them well... Like, if it was you and me, and we said, okay, let's do a versus instead of co-op, it would just be shits and giggles. You know?
Oh, yeah, it'd be great.
And even if we played it legitimately, it'd be like, oh, you won, or, you know, whatever, cool, yay, we're here for the experience. But once it becomes two strangers competitively going against each other, I know people like that, so it's just not my type of game.
This might be a great game if it's done well enough. There's people that will thrive on this. It's like Dark Souls on steroids, but it's just like, who knows?
Yep.
That's interesting. You know what game is actually still living, still thriving in a completely endless procedurally generated universe?
RuneScape!
Circle gets the square. But no, it's actually No Man's Sky.
Oh, shit!
It actually still is living, and apparently
it's
apparently getting a big update. Tom?
Yeah, so they had a, what do you want to call it?
An update?
Outside the game. Virtual reality. What do you want to... ARG! I'm like, augmented reality? ARG. With something involving cassette tapes, and basically it's led to this, what's it called? Hello Atlas or something like that? Atlas Rises.
Atlas, yeah.
Atlas Shrugs. I don't know. Atlas Rises update, which basically what it's boiled down to is they're saying, hey, we're adding more stuff to the game, which will expand on the story content, which basically anything they do will expand on the story content. So No Man's Sky is so weird because of a lot of reasons, but it's got me thinking back, and I gotta say, all my thoughts of it are pretty fond. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, there were some cool things that I saw. What happened was I ran out of things that were interesting. Eventually, I hit the wall of, oh, okay, I've felt it now.
My fondness ended the very first step I ever took on the second planet.
Oh, really?
Well, because
I probably went to 5 different galaxies, which each have like 3 or 4 procedurally generated planets. Yeah. And that was about the point where I was like, I'm starting to seal like the ceiling of the...
Well, because it's like my very first planet, everything was brand new. I spent hours just on that one area, which I thought, like, I must have explored the entire world by now. I explored maybe a 10th of it.
You never realize how little of it you see.
So I finally got my spaceship up. I finally, like, you know what? I explored enough. Let me get off this rock. I blasted up. I went to the space station. I'm like, this space station's cool. I really wish I could go further into it, but it's locked on certain doors. Whatever. Okay, time to go to the next planet. As soon as I step down, I'm like, I'm doing the same damn things. And that's just like, it just went downhill from there. Like, that was the problem. Like, I have fun moments.
did have a... Yeah. Bless you.
But like I said,
I did have an enjoyable side career as like a wildlife photographer in the game. But besides that, like, that was it, That's a lot of, I have really cool memories of just some one-off experiences that I had coming across certain scenarios, seeing certain vistas, seeing certain creatures, some life or death situations that I was in, just flying around in general. Like, I took more screenshots of that game than most any other game I've ever played. And I take a lot of screenshots.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Yeah, but pardon me, I'm trying to fix my camera brightness here.
Luke.
I'm gonna have to turn on some lights in my room.
Simba.
But no, I like No Man's Sky, and I'm glad that Hello Games has just been ridiculously devoted to continuing to add content to it. I guess the vibe around it has now boiled down to a small but supportive base. I wish I was part of it. If I had less games to play, I probably would be an active player.
Really?
Of it, I really like No Man's Sky. I like hanging out in No Man's Sky.
Interesting.
I like the no pun intended. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
I like the atmosphere of it. You know, it's a cool, weird kind of sci-fi that I like. I'm happy to know that they'll be adding more. However, their last update when they added vehicles and base building and stuff, yeah, I played it for a little bit and I was like, well, okay, I see what this could let me do.
And what specifically is coming up in this update, which I'm not sure if we actually addressed
again
yet?
Story content, just that story content, and the ability to quick travel between locations using portals. So it's like, the problem is, I'm gonna say it for the 8,000th time on this podcast, this is a game that should have released in early access. If this was just, pre-alpha update 0.7.2, people would be like, oh, cool, I can't wait till this is fully released. But instead, it's a game that is now a year plus after development. Year and a third now, maybe?
And within the first month and a half, it lost like 90% of its players?
Yeah. It blew its load too early.
But
that's how I feel. No Man's Sky could have been a really cool indie title, like, Stanley Parable or Gone Home or things like that, where people would be like, wow, what a cool non-AAA game this is.
I completely agree. It's a game
with all the hype of a AAA.
Yeah, it would have benefited from early access. It would have benefited from some additional coverage ahead of time. And I say coverage, I don't mean like it didn't get enough coverage. It got probably too much coverage, but I meant like true, honest, valid coverage, meaning like this is actually what this game is versus what this game could be or what it should be or what we believe it is. Because like the whole point, I think a lot of the reason why No Man's Sky got so much hype was this like mystery to it. It was kind of like,
how does this game work?
Everyone was kind of like, what is this game? What do you do in this game? And like up until like the point of release, people were just like, we don't know what this game is. Is it a survival game? Is it a space game? We don't know. And it turned out to
and
be
it was almost like
a space survival
fun for that hype.
But it's just like, this game would have benefited so much better if it just would have been like a few developer live Twitch streams, but like, hey guys, we're going to actually play this game. We're going to walk you through it. This is exactly what you're going to be looking at.
Well, here's the thing. I remember Sean Murray, the kind of lead developer there, doing a live playthrough. God, it was like, I don't even think it was a week before it was releasing. And he was doing a playthrough, just, I'm going to play the game for like 10, 15 minutes. And that was it. That was the game right there. It was just finally out in the open. No promo stuff around it. No glitz, no glam. It was him doing what we all have come to know as the No Man's Sky experience, which is, you're going, oh no, I'm dying, harvest this thing. Oh no, I'm dying more, harvest that thing. Okay, I have this stuff, put them together. Now I'm going to take off. What's over here? That looks cool. Oh, it's just that. Okay, So that, I can't remember if I pre-ordered it or not, but I just remember watching that and being like, okay, I see what this game is. And I ended up, probably for its first 2.5 months, playing it very solidly. I still like dipping into it. I wish I could keep it installed, but hard drive space.
Hashtag real life problems.
But that's No Man's Sky. It's getting a new update.
I don't know how I managed to not get lost in the cave. I always wanted... That was the thing. No Man's Sky would have been that perfect game where if you went far enough down in a cave, you'd find something, but you never found a damn thing. Like, that was the thing. Like, I guess it's, like, more realistic in that sense, because you don't always find something.
Yeah.
That was me. Like, my video game mind has trained me to say, if you go deep enough, if you find the most awkward random corner out there, something special should lie there. And it's always like, I've spent like an hour going deeper and deeper into this crevasse, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, that's it? There's a plan here.
No Man's Sky was an experiment in procedural generation in an era maybe that's not ready for it, or will we ever be ready for it? Is this making us ready for it? You know, it's like, because I'm on the same boat as you, where I am hardwired to think there's a weird corner of this video game. Like, I've been playing Remember Me. That's a game that hinges on that old strategy of like, it actually will show you these little images that are clues to like, hey, there's something hidden in the level. It's right around here. Good luck going to find it. And so it's like, oh, I gotta like hunt through every corner. And you find the weird, obscure thing, and there's something there to reward you.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, actually, I take it back, because Minecraft was the first game really where I felt, oh, wow, look at that huge mountain. I will climb that mountain. Oh, there's nothing at the top of this mountain. It's just a mountain. Yeah. Oh, and it was like
that's what it's supposed to be.
Oh my God, I'm getting this game now. It's not a handmade experience. It's just making it as I go. Cool. So why did Minecraft work and No Man's Sky didn't? Who knows?
It came out before it.
Yeah. Also, two very different games.
Very much so. One's cube-based that allows you to build right off
One's
the
a construction game and one's an
exploration game.
Yeah. But no, I still
think it's kind of hard to... I think it's unfair to label it an exploration game.
I like No Man's Sky. That's my current verdict on it, a year and so on. I like it.
And on that bombshell. No.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, little Brian.
Ah! Oh, God. I was like, what? I was like,
suddenly there's a tiny Brian on the screen.
That just... For all those listening to the audio-only podcast, it is not what you think at your God, no. Shut up, all of you.
Oh, these two guys must be hanging out in the same room, huh? Oh, look, it's little Brian. Come out to say hello.
You're not painting a pretty picture, Tom.
Hey, how'd you get out here? You get back to full size.
Addicted to Loot has been canceled due to...
Brian has swelled back up to full size. Okay, let's...
What happened to us?
Oh, it happens eventually. What's our next item, Brian, on the agenda?
We only have one fan, and we've been reported.
I understand.
We completely and utterly understand. Finally, moving on. Hopefully, Steam Direct, which is supposed to be this massive gateway to prevent games from getting to market, in a good way, in the sense that it's going to try to weed out games that really should not be on market, actually being on the market, has released over 1,000 games in 7 weeks. So,
Now, just to reiterate, Steam Direct replaced Greenlight in concept, and essentially, publishers, developers pay an entry fee, an upfront fee to get your game listed on the Steam platform. So where previously it was Greenlight, which was like a popularity vote kind of thing.
Exactly.
And so people were thinking, oh, okay, Steam Direct, we had at least one episode where we discussed it, maybe even two, where it's like, will this $100 fee
we actually had a developer on at the time we talked about it.
Oh, yes. And it was, will it make a difference? Will it make a positive difference? Will it make any difference? And there's a lot of video games out there on Steam.
And to make that equivalent, that was $100,000 worth of revenue for Valve, since it's $100 each time.
Valve knows what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. Valve just released freaking hats, and they have a giant uptick in their quarter profit.
Yep.
But
Valve knows what they're doing.
I've seen many a game, and I don't know, it's becoming... I always remember, like, the reason why indie games were so great was because they were like... There was 10 games on the shelves. 3 of them were AAA games. Maybe 2 of them were. All the rest were indie games, and they were right there, and you just went, great. Now it's kind of like... It's this massive junkyard full of just endless games. And
the thing is, they're probably really pretty good.
there's good
Yeah.
stuff in there, but it's just kind of like you get to the gate, you look at the mound, and you're just like, can't someone?
I'll tell you, you want to know what the
Can
exact
someone
opposite
just
experience
tell
is?
me what to play now?
Well, that's why we're here at Addicted to Loot to tell you the games that we've been playing and liking. But that's our own corporate shill aside. The exact opposite experience of Steam right now is going into Walmart and looking at the PC games section.
That's actually a really good point because who actually buys physical CDs anymore?
If you go into Walmart and you look at the PC games for the past at least 10 years, if not 20, it has been the current Sims, the current 5 expansion packs for it, Diablo Collector's Edition with all of the Diablos, Blizzard, just
Probably
general
a WoW.
Collector's Edition
Some
with
WoW in there.
some version of WoW, and whatever the current AAA game is, like Overwatch probably still.
And usually an Empire's throwback.
Oh yes, yeah, they'll be like
The
Age
Gold
of Empires.
Edition.
Right, Rise of Nations.
Every time.
Something.
Guaranteed. And then like 10
And
games
yeah,
for a
Nancy
nickel.
Drew's
Yeah.
Hidden Object Adventure and
3D
things like that.
Chest.
Yeah, 3D chess.
Frogger. Like,
Which that was the original
Indie-
what are these
that was the
odd
original
little
indie
games?
games.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I'll pick one of these up. This will be cool.
I guess what I was trying to say was like, indie games used to be this exciting, undiscovered adventure that you took yourself on, and you felt confident
Right.
enough to do it. Now it's kind of like it's this never-ending forest of just like, I don't even want to go in there anymore. Just tell me what to play. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird
Yeah,
because it's almost like
yeah.
there's so much. It's unnerving to try to even get your hands into it. And
Steve's recommendations have the best intentions, but like because I've been playing Crush,
Oh,
all of the
God.
games on the front page are like Japanese girl dating simulator visual novel sex games. I'm like, that is not why I'm playing Crush.
We're up-
I'm playing this because this is an addictive clicker game.
we're
No,
up to
I
2
don't
reports.
want this. I don't want this.
So,
But
Uh,
it's interesting because someone was talking recently, like, where do I find like weird offbeat? And we'll get into this kind of with our Flash discussion in hour 5 of
Spoilers.
tonight's episode. But someone was saying recently, where do I find the weird games? I think Itch is the platform for that. I think
most
Itch is
definitely. It's the
where-
easiest platform.
yeah, and it's a good platform. It's like
It is a good
Bandcamp
one.
for musicians. It's just like it's really friendly towards developers, but there's no filter besides what are the either most recent or it's like a shopping list, right? Most recent or highest rated. And highest rated are always going to be the same games. It's going to be the same games.
Ravenfield,
Yeah. it's-
Raft,
Whereas, where's like
My
a
Little Blacksmith Shop.
yeah, where's like a I don't know, like a there are curated lists. I do my part. I have a couple curated lists on Itch. If anyone's interested, I'll happily share them.
Did not
just-
know this.
Just of my favorite games and stuff like that.
This is an interesting
If you're
idea.
interested, I'll share.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we could do an Addicted to the Loot curated page both on Itch and on Steam.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Ooh.
Idea in the making. Let's somebody
Stay
jot
tuned.
that down.
We'll be right back.
If anyone's interested in that, let us know because we're probably gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, most likely.
yeah.
We do this for our own amusement, really.
But besides, like I check, PC Gamer and Rock Paper Shotgun every day. They tend
Yeah,
to do
PC
like,
Gamer, Eurogamer, IGN.
yeah, PC Gamer and
Kotaku,
RPS in general, or
Polygon.
those two specifically, tend to have like top 10, either free games or top 5 free games of the week, and they're usually weird, subversive little under the radar indies. Also, if you follow enough people on Twitter, you'll just start to see the games show up, and it's like, oh, whoa, hey, this is cool.
You know how many we put out indie game thing, you can literally just search by developers.
Yeah.
There's Twitter accounts that do nothing but repost indie games.
Yeah, I
there's
wish I could
tons
think
of
of some
ways,
offhand, but
all
I'm
the
friends
games
with a
that
couple.
I find to play prior to release that people somehow still offer me copies of, I find 90% of them through Twitter.
Free Game Planet, Alpha Beta Gamer, and Warp Door. Warp Door especially is really up my alley. But those are 3 ones that are
Blink 182 and Green Day and all them.
no, these are games.
Oh,
These are games.
games have music.
For what? What's going on? Did
Warp
I miss
Door?
a reference? Warp Door.
I know, but it's
That went over my head. I'm embarrassed it did.
I was kind of like,
I'm
I even threw
embarrassed.
Green
to
Day
do
in
it.
there. I'm like, come on, how can he forget this?
Oh my
Blink
god!
182. Come on.
I am so embarrassed. I missed a Warp Tour reference. God, I need to throw in my
I know, like out of all people.
my Tom card.
Come on.
Of all people. No, Warp Door, which is Chris Priestman's thing. And even him, just follow Chris Priestman on Twitter because he's always posting the people post cool GIFs of stuff, whether it's in development or this is cool.
I try my best.
That's I guess the best way I could say to find good recommendations.
We do a pretty good amount of retweeting and commenting on most
both
indie
of
games.
us. Yeah.
So
I tend to try and champion games that I've been playing and be like, hey, this is cool for this reason. So, but as far as just like the sheer content of stuff on Steam, I'm glad, bless you. I am glad that developers.
Oh, I thought I had that muted. Damn it.
Oh, I heard it. I don't know. I'm glad that developers feel like they can get their games out there. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that most of these games are legitimate passion projects that have a heart behind it. And I honestly, being a musician, being an unsigned, non-labeled musician, I know that it's a struggle to be like, oh, I made this thing, I put in a lot of work, here it is, check it out, as 999 other people upload similar things that day. How's anyone supposed to find it if they aren't already a fan of you? So
exactly. Welcome to Addicted to Loot.
That's what we're trying to do a little bit.
We're the geeky podcast in the corner that goes, hey guys. So,
hey.
Can we sit with you? No. Okay. Hi.
Well, I like this game.
Hi.
But yeah, no, and I don't know. I think there are a lot of people that are doing their part. It's like you said, there are a lot of Twitter accounts out there. There are curators, curated lists, websites, both big and small.
Yeah, that's true. There's always ways out there. But hey, if you ever want to know more about indie games, hit one of us up. We can point you in the right direction.
That's kind of our shit.
Mm-hmm. Right up there. We just shove our head right into it, full steam ahead, and just take a big, deep breath.
Wow.
But you know what's a better smell than getting the shit into indie games? Would you ever wish that your house, an apartment, or room ever smelled like Venus, Mars, the Dreadnought, or anything else?
Basically, I wish that my house smelled like popular electronic video game Destiny.
Well, good thing for you, Tom, because there is Destiny 2 candles!
This sounds like something like a total shitpost, like, I would love Destiny 2, insert random word here, like Mad Libs, like noun.
No, there is 100% Destiny 2 candles. Let me prove this to you. Earth Spin Metal, a fresh aromatic blend of cut cedarwood and sandalwood infused with a sweet pine and warm righteous acorns?
What?
What?
Earth smells like acorns? Are you telling me Earth is actually
warm,
acorns?
Resinous accords, mossy, earthy tones in the base. The moon, warm, smoky accords. Why is there chords everywhere? Fill the
accordions
air and a comforting sound of crackling wood balanced with the rich amber and warm vanilla. These are literally Destiny 2 scented candles. And not only that, you can enjoy them while wearing your Destiny 2 bathrobe.
Sign me up, man.
What?
I don't even play Destiny and I want this shit.
What? And then the best part is...
I am always a fan of weird marketing because it always works. It always works. It's like, we're going to make just abstract such and such. Like when Overwatch, when they did like those giant life-size figures that looked like toys and action figures, I was like, I want this game 1,000% more now because these are just so ridiculous, you know?
Oh no, there's Destiny 2 candles, which it doesn't actually say how much they are or where to get them, but they have them. They're actual things.
I do like candles. I do like good smells.
Just for pooped and giggles. They are like, not satisfied with those flavors? Here's some of the PC Gamer Studio-based Destiny.
Oh, yeah, these are hilarious.
Apples. It smells like apples. But apples from the distant future.
Future apples.
New spaceship. A sterile, cozy aroma with notes of zero gravity and bleach. Xur's dirty old jackets. If you don't know who this Xur is, basically he comes out every weekend and he's kind of like the secret shop every weekend kind of thing. Xur's dirty old jacket leads with a mildew bouquet and finishes with notes of the weekend.
Oh my god. Oh, I like the last one. Ode to grind. unscented. Ah, yes, the smell of a pointless grind.
But yeah,
honestly,
this is fun, but it's kind of like I would love to know how many people would actually buy these things.
I would if I knew that Destiny was my jam. And here's the thing.
Ooh, the candle
here's a
holder,
little thing.
though. The holder. If you haven't seen the holder, I would buy this for the holder. It actually is a guardian, not a guardian. Oh, what the hell are they called? Oh my god, ghosts. It's actually one of the ghosts.
Oh my god, I'm looking at it right now, and that actually is really cool.
That is freaking sweet.
It's like a geometric, Destiny ghost shape.
Depending on the scent you choose, his eye color changes color.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, I'm actually kind of refraining that now.
That's cool.
And this could be yours for the cheap price of. Really?
Forget the game. Buy the candles.
There's no price tag.
Is it one of those shows up in cart bullshit?
Oh, you can get it on Amazon. So you get all the candles and the ghost
five
holder
candles.
you get five candles and the ghost candle holder for $57. You can actually get it on Amazon.
Really?
Right
It's
now.
only $57?
$57.
That is that's not bad, actually.
And if you ever want to know what the Destiny Guardian bathrobe would cost.
I am interested. I do like a good bathroom.
Oh, wait, hold on. It's not on that one. Amazon UK?
Oh.
No. Well, I don't really care about the UK.
Only available through UK shops.
Oh, it's only... it looks like Amazon is like the main curator for everything, but it's not actually on the... it's the 30 euros, whatever that is. They don't actually have the US Amazon available for it.
All right, international fans, here's your chance to shine.
Numbskull. Have you actually heard of Numbskull? Have you heard of Numbskull? I've never heard of Numbskull.
Probably like Jinx or
Destiny
something.
2, Crash Bandicoot, Tekken, Star Wars, Marvel, PlayStation, and more.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never heard
Kudos to them.
I've only ever thought of like ThinkGeek and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do want to say that the open beta for Destiny 2 is coming up exactly just under 3 weeks from today.
Isn't it the 28th?
29th, I think. It's probably the 28th for pre-orders.
Maybe, but actually no. I think
you get an extra day.
There.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in there. I cannot wait for this.
I
I'm
am
hoping I will have my new computer built by then. I'm hoping.
Sure.
I want to stream this. I actually would love to stream it with this guy live.
Hey! Well, I am completely fascinated by this because...
I don't know if you know this, but do you know how long it's been since we've actually played a game together?
We have not played a game together in a long time. I was going to contact you the other day and say, do you want to play...
all of the Addicted to Loot, bonding events, membership retreats, leadership
Look, it's not that I don't want to do
Trust Fall conventions, all of them.
I had a bad experience with a Trust Fall.
I got a thing and a guy.
Can be trust issues.
My hair was on fire. I mean, I left the stove off. I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah, but I had to wash my cat
And
a lot, at least twice. But truthfully, yes, we are hoping this actual promise right here and now. We are hoping to co-stream it because I am dead set on wanting to play it. I have no experience with Destiny. I am really interested in what Destiny is like. Obviously, everyone's interested in what PC Destiny is going to be like.
I seriously cannot wait. I'm already going to tell you right now. I'm going to try. I want to stick with mouse and keyboard, but it's probably going to be a good game for gamepad. But I'm
sure because A, of its console roots, and B, Bungie. But also, let me reiterate something that keeps flying over my head. This is an open beta. This is free to try. Everybody. Everybody, anybody. You don't have to...
me, your grandmother,
this is not like pre-order specific. Yeah, Jim can
everybody.
play.
Bring everybody.
Jim along. Yeah, the MOBA grandmas from earlier in the episode can play. They'll come together. They'll start their little Destiny side club, and it'll be great. But no, this is a free open beta from the 29th to...
the Destiny Silver Wolves? No. Silver Foxes? No.
Silver Foxes. You know that we're ultimately going to be old gamers someday.
Could you imagine? We celebrate our 50th year of Addicted to Loot, and welcome to Addicted to Loot, where we're gonna do a throwback to actual physical PCs.
Do you remember when we used to have computers?
I don't know all this new HVR shit.
Whoa.
Hold on, let me put
I don't know what that was supposed to signify.
I don't know. Is that like
futuristic
is that
noise
like Mars
and gesture?
flying by, just like whoa?
Remember when Mars was a planet and not just this thing?
Hold on, let me take off my like PC gaming eye. Yeah, whatever. This is stupid.
Augmented PC gaming.
Hold on, I can't shut off my new Destiny 25. I can't blink the right way.
Oh crap! I'm stuck on the loading screen. Just like driving.
Hold on, I need my glasses on. Oh, that's so much better. It actually focuses the game.
No, but seriously, I'm excited for the Destiny open beta. I keep wanting to call it Destiny 29.
I am so pumped for this. I am so uberly pumped for this.
I'm part of the hype.
Unfortunately, the one negative is that the one class I really want to play is like 99% of people are playing it, so it's just like that class as far as the eye can see. So it's unfortunate because I like the fact that there's a balance to it, but I always like the fact that of the sense of like I am this class, ha 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 ha. But no,
I'm so friggin' glad. I've said this 100 million times. I'm just glad that they're doing an open beta because I think all games should have demos, something. Release a friggin' benchmarking tool. I don't care. Just let me know that your game runs on my computer before I spend money on it.
And before we go into
or that especially if it's going to be something like an MMO or a shooter or something that you're going to devote hours to, let me know that I enjoy playing it. Like, I anticipate with all games, it's a 50-50 chance. Do I like the way this feels? Like Lawbreakers. I'm sorry, Lawbreakers. I don't really like the way that it feels to play Lawbreakers. So thank you for having an open beta.
Before we go into our playlist real quick, something I completely forgot to mention when we were on the No Man's Sky update is that you can get No Man's Sky right now for 60% off in the Humble Bundle store.
I recommend it.
Just as an FYI.
I vouch for it. I think that if you have thought No Man's Sky might be interesting, you're going to get something out of No Man's Sky. That's the problem. The game is everything and nothing all at once. You are going to get a little something out of it. Price is probably pretty right now. Whatever the price is.
For No Man's Sky?
Yeah.
60% off.
Of what, $60?
Most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, no Man's Sky is a good pick it up on sale game.
$36 off.
Yeah. I'd say so.
20-something bucks, somewhere in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. $20 for No Man's Sky? Oh, yeah. I'd absolutely recommend it.
Somewhere in that, I believe. Somewhere in that ballpark, if my math is somewhat right.
Are we at our feature?
We are at our feature.
Holy heck balls. This is cool. This is so bittersweet, but I'm so excited to talk about this. I'm like shaking.
Go for it. You may lead the charge. Let me cue up the world's smallest violin.
Recently, there were a couple of bombshell announcements from the higher ups in software world saying that, and this one was taken back, that MS Paint was going to be discontinued, and there was such an outcry that they were like, just kidding, whoa. But also that Adobe Flash is finally being phased out for real. It has been like soft phased out for the past... Yeah. It's been like soft phased out for the past 3 to 5 years. Google Chrome just outright stopped supporting it. If you ever want to play a Flash game, you have to have Firefox or Internet Explorer or something. Opera. Netscape Navigator.
Dolphin.
If you're a real... Dolphin?
Yeah.
Safari?
Safari, yeah.
Dolphin emulator. The Wii Shop browser window.
Oh god. That was the worst.
But so they're phasing it out by 2020. By the year 2020, Flash is just going to be no longer supported, no longer anything new coming from it. They're trying to switch over to HTML5, but this comes as no surprise. Again, it's been softcore phased out, but Adobe Flash, previously Shockwave Macromedia Flash, for gamers of a certain age, I think is like, I don't know, I would say it's essential. Like, you experienced Flash, even not gamers, but like, God, there was so much that was relying on Flash from 1998 to 2008. Probably 2010, there was still essential Flash content.
Yeah, like the majority of... Basically, if you were playing a game online on your computer, at a certain point in time, it was 100% Flash.
Right.
Every game was offline.
Well, here's the
about.
thing. I've got a notepad doc because I started making notes on it because we were going to do this little feature.
You put a note in a notepad? How dare you.
Hey! If they phase out notepad, I swear to God. But we said, hey, let's talk about Flash on Addicted to Loot because we remember Flash and it was essential stuff for us. I like Flash because it was free. It was accessible. It was browser-based video games. They were always free, and it was just it was there. I could go on the computers at school and play these games, if you could get past
Armor games.
Armor games. Well, okay, so we're gonna go all the way back.
Armor games, addictivegames.com.
So yeah, no. You're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead. So there was like the first stage of stuff. I'm like a mini Flash historian. Okay, I just consult me for your Flash knowledge. No, I don't know shit. But anyway. You had your early stage stuff, which was Macromedia, which was Shockwave.com. Shockwave.com had a really great... Oh, there was a name for it. It was like the Shockwave Arcade or something like that. But they had games. There were tie-ins. I remember, like, if you went to Disney's website, you had Flash games that were tied in with, like...
Oh, they took forever to load.
Oh, they took ages to load. And
sometimes they didn't even work.
Sometimes they didn't even work. But what was really amazing is because they took ages to load, which was partially because we all had dial-up connections at the time, you had games that you could play during the loading screens. I remember Nickelodeon and a couple other ones had actual loading screen games that were like really low level. There was one for a Tarzan game that I was playing on Disney's website. I never got to the Tarzan game because I spent the whole time. It was like, what's the name of it? Where you have swinging ropes and you click the mouse to connect to the first rope, and then you have to wait for the momentum to be right to click to the next rope, and then you click again and you get to the end. And then it just gets harder and harder. That was the loading game. It's like if people now are looking for a reference point, it's like when you get an error page on Google Chrome and it's got the little dinosaur game where you can play kind of like an endless runner with the dinosaur. It was like that. It was like super low graphics. You were a cube jumping onto little vines. If anyone remembers that, right in, because that was I loved that. That was so awesome. But yeah, so there were all these tie-in games with again, Nickelodeon had great stuff. They had their Click-a-Majigs, which were just little oddities.
Yeah.
I remember a 3D pool game that was through Flash.
Oh, yeah.
Through Shockwave. I think it was just called like 3D pool, had this great, like, and it worked. It was a legitimate 3D, move the camera around a bar room kind of setting, had this great scene setting music. The sound effects were so cool and tactile. There was this thing that I've been trying to hunt down for years. So this is my little putting a message out there on another platform. There was this game where you could remix, well, it wasn't a game, it was a tool. It was through Shockwave, where you could remix songs, and it would give you vinyls. You had 2 virtual turntables, and you could sample them, and you could like chop up parts of it and save your mixes and stuff like that. This was like way early. I know there's been stuff like that since, but this was like the first time I saw something like this done. I remember because my username on there was DJ TJ.
Oh god,
and it was TEEJAY. But and I had like
much angst.
I had like was using all these tracks from like Miami things that were like DJ TJ Summer Party. It was so bad, so bad.
Welcome to our lives.
But you could save it, and it was great, and go back and listen to your mixes and stuff, fire off samples and things like that. Also, anyone who played early Flash games is probably familiar with Lenny Loose Jocks, which was this... I guess, I don't know if I want to call it a franchise, because there were only like 2 games, but there was Lenny Loose Jocks Goes Walkabout and Lenny Loose Jocks in Space. And I actually am going to talk later, because I replayed Lenny Loose Jocks in Space in its entirety Monday night, something like that. And I did kind of like a live feed of it on Twitter. But Lenny Loose Jocks were these like adventure games, kind of like, LucasArts, Sierra adventure games with a great sense of humor, great style to them. So you had that early stage stuff, and then you had, all I could call it is the high school era, which is Addicting Games, Armor Games. Mini Clip.
Mini Clip. How about Newgrounds?
Newgrounds is later. Newgrounds comes at the tail end of high school.
What?
Newgrounds was around.
It was.
Newgrounds is around, but it
before
didn't
that.
really shine until our junior year.
What?
Of course, I wasn't doing Newgrounds stuff in 10th grade, 9th grade, man.
I mean,
8th grade.
Newgrounds was always around. Before
Oh, it
we
was
even-
always around, but it wasn't great until 2007.
Okay.
Arguably,
Okay.
arguably the golden years for Newgrounds, and I will defend it later. But you had this mid-stage 8th grade, 9th grade era stuff for us with Stick RPG,
Stick RPG.
which was
I wish that game would have been like a full-length AAA title because
I think it did get a sequel.
Yep, I think it did get a sequel, but they always promise a full-length game. They just
Castle, something.
I don't know. I love that game. This game, me, Tom, our friend Alec played just religiously.
In school.
Yeah,
That was the worst part. Study halls.
We were supposed to be studying, doing homework, working on a project. What are you guys doing back there? Nothing. Grind.
History
drink
class.
more beer. Drink more beer to get smarter.
It was an RPG where you played. It was a top-down RPG where you played a stick man. Because here's the thing: there was this era where stick figures were the thing.
Everywhere.
That was
figure games.
Violent stick
figure videos. Stick figure movies. Stick figure killing simulators.
It was all this
everywhere.
There was just this explosion. That was it. That was the aesthetic.
At the time this was happening, one of my favorite ever Flash video series was called Counter-Stick.
Oh, no, it's not what I thought it was, but that's...
Counter-Stick. I loved Counter. It just made fun of Counter-Strike, just with stick figures. It was hilarious.
It was always these vector stick figures, probably because they were easy to make.
They were like red or black or blue heads.
Yeah, yeah, that was it. Just actually Hangman stick figure.
Yeah, that was it.
And it was iconic. Like every single new game from 2003 to 2006 were stick figure things, which also showcases, I guess, in a very well-known series called Animator versus Animation.
And
that's the one I thought you were going to bring up.
I love Animator versus Animation. Yeah, that was good. I still watch that one.
Animator versus Animation is the highlight of capturing mid-2000s Flash culture, I think, because it's a Flash animation of a stick figure that a guy has made in Flash going rogue. And it's brilliant. He uses the tools, like he uses the computer mouse, like he picks up, grabs it like it's an arrow and chucks it. And it just really he uses a desktop. And I think there were at least 3 of them. There were at least 2 sequels to the original one. Oh my! Brian just went citrus for an orange second here. For an orange second here. But yeah, Animator versus Animation was absolutely. If you haven't seen that ever in your life, go check that out. It's probably on YouTube, ironically.
It still is,
yeah. Also, this is funny because this showcased on Rock Paper Shotgun recently. Spank the Monkey.
Yes, I found that game. I was the original person that found that damn game.
You were the first one. Spank the Monkey is not what you think it is.
Get your head out of the gutter.
Yeah, it was an inflatable monkey with a flappy hand that you...
Your mouse was the flappy hand.
Yeah, and you move the mouse, and you're trying to hit the monkey as fast as you can.
You had to flick the mouse in a way that the hand slapped the monkey.
What is really funny is I thought that we were so brilliant because somebody discovered that if you click and hold the mouse and pull it off to the opposite side of the screen as the monkey, you're dragging it, and then you bring the mouse back around to where the monkey is,
and you let go.
It will slingshot. That hand will slingshot to meet where your mouse is so fast that you just absolutely broke the game. You would just smack the monkey at thousands of miles per hour.
It was amazing.
I thought we were so clever, and then the Rock Paper Shotgun article detailed how to do that.
It was so easy, but it was just like...
But I thought that was our thing. I was like, I can't believe that. We figured it out. We're cheating, man. We're cheating at the game. And no, it's public knowledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spank the Monkey was one of those things that was fun because, you had all of us in the computer lab. There was a point where I remember study hall where all of us were playing.
Yeah, and to
not fair, just you, me, and Alec.
When we say all of us, we mean our entire class, which to some of you, this might be a surprise, but it was 14 people.
Yeah, all 14 of us.
All 14
that
of us.
huge group.
Was just on all of our computers. Every single one was playing Spank the Monkey.
Yeah, and trying
to get the best, the highest speed.
Another competitive one from that era is okay. So this one has a little bit of a story. There's a Penguin game where the original game, I guess it's part of like the Yeti Sports Games series.
Yeah,
I never played the other ones. But a penguin jumps off a cliff, and you're a Yeti with a baseball bat, and you would hit the penguin. And in the original game, the penguin goes, and he lands and bounces a little bit, and you try and hit him as
There's
far
like
as you
obstacles
can.
in the way, and there's things that make him go further, and there's things that like stop
those kinds
him.
of games have Kitten Cannon. I think it's similar kind
of bison one. What the hell is there's bison. There's like a bison and like he's like a lucha libre bison thing.
Right,
and
right. There have been a ton of variations on that, but this one in particular had one like I don't know if you want to call it like a remake, a mod maybe of it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can mod a Flash game. But there's one called Penguin Extreme, which always features.
Welcome to Addicted to Loot.
Welcome. It features on the top of pointlesssites.com, which is another great site to bring up another time.
Oh yeah, Pointless. Yeah.
Penguin Extreme was an interesting variation.
New.
New. I am bored. In the Penguin Extreme, the penguin would jump down, and the Yeti had a spiked club.
That was bloody to begin with.
Which is already bloody. And when he hits the penguin's body just explodes in a shower of, animated
gore,
single color flash blood. And the head goes flying. There are landmines just randomly generated along the way. There are spikes that you have to overcome at first, and then there are landmines along the way. So in the first game, you're hitting the penguin like, yeah, I hit him 50 feet. Yeah, I hit him 57 feet. Oh, that's cool. This is like, wow, I hit him 987 yards. Like,
yeah, just his head though.
And every time, the reason why Brian's making that noise is every time the penguin would lean down before his jump, he would go. So when you play this game for, a long time, and that gets drilled into your head.
And we figured out, did we figure out a way that you could just spam it? Like if you didn't click, or if like you clicked too quickly, it would go like, and then like instantly reset, then
yes, that's right, I forgot about that. There was a way that you could just get like infinite penguins going on. But it was an absolutely ridiculous game. I love that kind of stuff where, again, you'd have a group of us playing it,
exactly.
And we're trying to outdo each other. We're each trying to get the highest score.
And bread and butter, we had not played the Crash Bandicoot Remastered yet. I remember at least playing the original one, but neither one of us have played the remaster. If you wanted to give us a shout out as to what you thought about it, we would love to hear it.
Yeah, I'm really curious how it holds up.
So what's next on the Master Flash list?
Well, on the Flash list, also during that era, a lot of those games had really cool music, and not just games like Streets of Fire that introduced me to Initial D.
Oh yeah, Streets of Fire.
But which had the track Streets of Fire by Initial D. But there was also there was music made for the games. I'm thinking in particular like Fancy Pants Adventure, which is recently back in the limelight, had this really great like acoustic guitar kind of poppy, feel good thing. Fancy Pants Adventure is a platformer that's just I don't know if I want to call it like a runner, but you're trying to get the better of gravity at all times in it. But another colorful, fun game that was definitely iconic. But also there was a game called Sim Day and Night that had this music that was just absolutely compelling, that I actually set up like a loop of like a cassette tape recorder and the headphone output to get that track. But it was an absolutely horrendous sex-infused game, so I don't know if I could vouch for it. But yeah, it had this really catchy music that came with it. So people did some really good... It was like the precursor to indie design. People were doing these, solo passion projects. You had one person making these games, and it's usually the developer made the music, made the animation and stuff. So you had these really... Again, passion project that you could tell that they were made with the best intentions. Like I'm a crap animator, but I could program a really creative game. But also during this period of time, you had like the highlights of Flash animation, and in particular, you had Homestar Runner,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was a Flash staple. Like Homestar Runner, it always depresses me if I make a Homestar reference and someone doesn't get it, but I have to accept that time is moving on without me, and I am getting old. Homestar Runner, if you're not familiar, oh my god, how would you describe it? A world?
A universe.
A universe.
It's kind of like, if you ever thought of, it's kind of like, instead of going to Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, or like Saturday morning cartoons to see a new kind of, animated sitcom, you went to Flash and it was Homestar Runner. They had unique characters, they all had their unique personalities, they put out episodes, they put out like mini episodes where some characters were featured, some were not.
Right.
But it was based all on a website.
There was the Homestar Runner universe, which had a cast of creative, colorful, unique, weird, quirky characters. Actually, very much like Adventure Time. I feel like Adventure Time has a lot of the Homestar Runner kind of weirdness. Definitely different styles of story and whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. But you also had things like, the character Strong Bad, right? Who's the fan favorite, answered emails, and that became one of the most popular things. And so,
I forgot about the email ones.
Spemails, and like early level memes came from these. Like these were memes before memes were a thing. And games, they made games, they made actual games. There's an actual, I think it's Telltale, right? Did Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People for the Wii?
Yeah, they actually did.
Yeah.
And there's also a Homestar Runner Wii game.
Yeah, that's it.
Strong Bad one, yeah.
Yeah, the Cool Game for Attractive People.
Yeah, you're right.
And, it's just... you use the word conglomerate when you describe Addicted to Loot. That's
it
like
really
what...
was, yeah.
Yeah, that's like what Homestar Runner was. It was this just collection of stuff. And there's still, I still see, like, I follow some Twitter accounts that are, like, carrying on the Strong Bad, because Strong Bad always had opinions, especially with his emails. It's just, Homestar Runner, man, I don't even know where to begin unpacking that. But I do want to make a quick aside to the comments.
Yep, let's go back to bread and butter. So it seems like when we asked them to give us their opinion on Crash Bandicoot the Remaster, I feel like the jumps feel weird now, like harder to land. I used to speedrun Crash 3, but now it feels kind of different. Also, in Crash 3 Boneyard, the soundtrack got remastered and it completely and utterly ruined it. Oh, that's a shame.
No, bring back if you're going to do the soundtrack, just do the soundtrack that it was, sure,
clean it up
a remaster, clean up, but...
make it sound prettier to my ears, but don't, if you don't crack it open, it doesn't need to be remastered.
No.
Remaster just
literally do some EQ fixing if you need to. That's all. Don't change the instruments or anything like that. But yeah, I don't have any history with Crash, but I have always been familiar with it. Like, did you play Crash games?
I played the original PS1 Crash for a little while. I think my brother played it more than I did.
Yeah.
The majority of my Crash Bandicoot experience was, I know I played, remember back when we had demo discs? I actually had PlayStation the Magazine demo disc, which was a Crash Bandicoot one. Which had the first 2 levels on it. I remember I played that a ton because I needed it.
Oh god, I had a demo disc that had A level and Splinter Cell on it.
Oh,
I could do that thing in my sleep.
Yeah.
I could do that level inside and out. I played that so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel bad because I never there was that era of Crash, Spyro, Banjo-Kazooie. I didn't ever play those.
Spyro was by far one of my all-time favorite games.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it, but it should have at least been on my honorable mentions list, because Spyro was a game that everyone of all ages just loved.
Oh, sure, yeah, I understand.
5-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 20-year-olds. Anyone who played a game loved Spyro for weird reasons. It is just a fun, solid game.
Well, it's really... I mean this in the best possible way. It's really easy to grasp.
Oh,
that doesn't mean it's not an easy game. I'm just saying the concept of what Spyro is. Oh, look at these things, collect them.
You run around, you breathe fire, you glide, you jump.
Yeah, and because of that, there's thankfully a lower barrier of entry, so anyone can come in and have more fun with
Yeah,
it.
Spyro 1, 2, I think they did up to 3, if not further. I can't
Was that
remember.
Naughty Dog or Insomniac?
Naughty Dog.
Spyro. Go out to the Googles. Vivendi, Insomniac.
Insomniac. Don't. No, yeah, never mind. I knew it was one of the two.
I know they did the Skylanders stuff. Did that ever?
Insomniac?
No, well, I mean Spyro. Did that ever, like,
yeah.
catch
I just know
on?
Insomniac's mostly known for the Ratchet and Clank series.
Well, yeah, definitely.
That's the main Insomniac. And Spyro, Ratchet and Clank.
There is a great series on YouTube for fans of this era of gaming, done by Double Fine. That's like Tim Schafer's company. God, I can't think of what it's called, but they sit down with developers of these games. Like they'll sit down with the developer of Devs Play. Yes,
Devs Play.
I love this series. This is like ace video game watching material. The devs will sit down. Maybe, someone will be playing it, like, I'm spacing it. But you'll have, like, someone from Insomniac, someone who is essential in the development of the game, and they'll play Spyro, and they'll talk about it. They'll play Crash, and they'll talk about the game in a very deep level way. It's really cool. It's really informative. It's got a great chilled out atmosphere to it. Yeah, there's, I think, 2 seasons worth of it.
Yeah, Dev.
They make a new Skylanders every year or two?
Thank you, Brendan Brunner, for joining Addicted to Loot. Thank you for joining the addiction. Thank you very much.
I didn't know they were still making new Skylanders.
Apparently so. I haven't touched one, period, but...
I like the figures. I'm a sucker for Lucio, right? But
I need to find you a Lucio
I'm into it.
Ball.
That would be so great. A Lucille Ball. I could say I love Lucille Ball.
Tom, why is there a wig?
So yes, going back to this is a red wig on this ball. So anyway, going back to Flash. In addition to Homestar Runner, you had the Dark Cousin, which was anything that David Firth created. That is like Salad Fingers.
Oh, you son of a... For the fact that you exposed me to Salad Fingers, I will never forgive you. Ever.
It's really interesting. I think that there are literally 2 reactions to Salad Fingers. You either are just completely enthralled with it, like, what is this?
I love rusty spoons.
Or you're, like, scarred for life.
I love the feel of rusty spoons.
Salad Fingers was a very avant-garde, offbeat animation series. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. You have to be into stuff that's a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. A lot of people since have tried to theorize on it, have tried to like, oh yes, this is a metaphor for nuclear holocaust and things like that. I think it's just weird for the sake of being weird. Maybe I'm wrong, and if I am, I apologize, David Firth, for not viewing your creative vision. But Salad Fingers definitely was, an odd thing. What Salad Fingers did was introduce me to the music of Boards of Canada, which is, and sort of a niche thing in itself. But and a little bit of Apex Twin stuff. But yeah, David Firth did some fascinating, weird, out there kind of things. And I feel bad for saying weird because it makes it sound like, it's weird. No, it's weird in the sense of the genre of weird. It's unsettling. It's maybe disturbing, I guess.
Oh,
yes,
it's out there.
It's fascinating to me. Like,
it's pretty just like, yeah.
I don't know if there's a deeper meaning to any of his stuff, but it does just, he's got a very distinct style of illustrating. I'd love to know him as a person. Like, he seems like someone who I'd just be like, what? I want to watch him work. I don't think that there's more to it than that. It's like, I just want to watch you draw. I like the stuff, your style. He's got an incredible style. But Salad Fingers definitely another iconic thing.
But
so
unfortunately, Ode to Flash.
This paves the way for Newgrounds era stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I would say, is the highlight of Newgrounds. Newgrounds went everywhere. I had a lot of problems with Newgrounds stuff. Like, what was it? Pico's School, the game about the kid, shooting up or stopping the kids from shooting up his school. The stuff was based on like all the Columbine stuff.
The problem with Newgrounds was there wasn't a censor system. It's just you have a game, you have a Flash movie,
right?
Put it on Newgrounds.
Yeah, but it became like one of their figurehead flagship games, and it's just like this is kind of this isn't really my jam. And you'd had it everywhere. Binding of Isaac, Super Meat Boy, yes. Behemoth Games, Castle Crashers. You had these. All of a sudden, you had modern day indie games coming out. Like the groundwork was being laid on Newgrounds. That's where it was starting. That's where it was fermenting. You had great experimental things. You had off the wall stuff, and this kind of goes back to our earlier stuff of talking about where are the weird indie games. They were on Newgrounds. That was where you went for just like I want something that's going to be. This was
out
like
there, just like
it was like an art gallery. Like that's what I liked about Flash is it seemed like a lot of people could do it. A lot of people could understand it. I made Flash cartoons. If I could do it, anyone could do it. If this pea brain can do it. And so you just had so much content coming out, and it was so cool. I don't know. I liked it. I loved it. Like 2007, 2008, there was so much like subversive and weird. And again, like Salad Fingers, like almost disturbing stuff that was going out there. I didn't like stuff that was so disturbing that was like, ew, this is, it's gross. But God, like, what a place. What a weird breeding ground of stuff.
It was kind of like 4chan before its time.
I'm thinking that. It's funny. That's where my brain's going to.
It's kind of like... There was like the nice, pretty sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops side, and if you just happen to notice the shadow behind one of the oak trees, and like go down a weird little path, you found yourself in this like seedy, deep underworld of just like what the hell did I just find?
I am trying to remember this guy's name. Oh, he was one of my favorite animators. He did
Seth MacFarlane.
Well, yeah. Oh my God!
And definitely Newgrounds.
Bitey of Brackenwood. Bitey of Brackenwood. Who did
all
that?
All about nostalgia.
Bitey of Brackenwood. Brackenwood series. Bitey Castle. What is his name? Adam Phillips. Adam Phillips. Of course, that's an easy to remember name. The Bitey series. Adorable, cool, beautiful art. These were people who were like, I want to do Disney stuff, but in Flash. It was just everything was happening. And it was such an era. It was such a great, like, for me, it was like a formative years of like, I want to create stuff because look at all this stuff that people are making and people can make this. Wow. It was really inspirational be in that while it was happening. As that, opened up to people making indies, you had Quap, you had Line Rider, you had Cannibalt, you had Samaros. Versus Samaros is a Flash game that you could still play for free. You had 100,000 million billion desktop tower defense games.
Oh God!
Like there were that replaced the stick figures.
Gemcraft. Yeah, the granddaddy of them all.
Oh my God, there were so many of those.
Oh God,
I wasn't
Happy
ever
Tree
into
Friends.
This. Happy Tree Friends.
Oh, that was.
Yep.
That was another one that will forever plague my psyche.
That's one where it was like, where Salad Fingers was like, oh, this is so weird. Happy Tree Friends was like, this is right in your face with it.
Like, it just fought with you because you didn't know how to feel. It just like tore at your emotions.
Yeah, for those who might not know, Happy Tree Friends was delivered as this very cute, adorable Flash cartoon with the most blood, mayhem, death, and decapitation and gore that you've ever seen. Like,
the very first one I ever saw was you saw a cute little cutesy brown greenish bunny like hopping for lollipops, but then all of a sudden like he slips and he gets his face pinned to like a waffle iron and like it burns off and it's just like his eye pops out and it's just
it knew exactly what it was doing. It was like that really weird like middle of the night Adult Swim stuff where it was we're cute, just kidding, it was terrible. Subversive intention.
It was just it wasn't terrible. It was just like whoa.
Yeah, it caught you off guard if you didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, here's what's interesting. If you think about it, all of this became Facebook games.
Oh, yeah. How did they...
That's where it is right now. Yeah. Bejeweled. Bejeweled Blitz specifically. Game of Thrones Ascent is a really cool one. That's on Congregate, but I think it's also Robot Unicorn Attack. Did you ever play that? That was a tie-in with Adult Swim. Yeah, that was a really fun one. Endless clicker games, idle games, those still exist today, very much so. Ask me about Crush Crush. But now those things are like within their own clients, so I guess it's okay for them to step away from Flash. I don't know. It's weird. It's like that's where they are now. That's the end of the lifespan. you either die a hero or live long enough to become a Facebook game. And it's not to diss Facebook games. There are great ones out there, but it's like, actually, let's take it one step further. Facebook games have become mobile games. Think about it. Makes you think. That's where we are. Flash games, starting all the way back with Macromedia and Shockwave.com stuff, have become mobile phone games. That's where we are. That's the logical evolution.
And so unfortunately, we have to go on.
There's one more game I want to talk about. My favorite one.
Brr.
This is a game that not enough people know about.
Better be good.
It is called Cursor 10, maybe Cursor times 10. It's Cursor with an asterisk and a 10. You have 10 cursors, 10 mouse cursors, 10 lives to reach the 16th floor of a space.
Yes. I remember that game.
Each of your lives is recorded. So, you have to push a button to open a door. You move your mouse there and you hold down the button. Hold it down until X amount of time runs out. Next time you come back, you're now a second mouse. You see your first mouse go back and hold down the button, so your second mouse can now go through the door. And you're on the second level. Oh, you have to click on this 5 times. Oh, you have to click on this 10 times in order to open the door. Okay, start clicking 5 times and wait. Now your third mouse comes through. You see the first one go and hold down. The second one goes up, goes through the door, starts clicking. You start clicking the second one. You have 16 of these to do that. And it works out just perfectly if you do it right. This is incredible. What a creative game. That's called Cursor 10. Again, it's stylized Cursor asterisk 10. I recommend everyone play it. It is so cool. Before Flash dies, go play this game.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we have to wave goodbye to our dear old friend Flash and bid him adieu as he slips
goes gently into the good night. Well, here's the thing.
To find rest whatever dreams may come.
There's still going to be ways to emulate it, but it's just interesting that they're making the decision to say, no more support, no more development. That's really all this means.
Yeah, it's just weird for us because it did like bookmark a large portion of our gaming life. It's just
in case the past hour wasn't any indication. But yes, ask me about Flash games. I could talk about them forever.
Go do it at TOMALITY on Twitter. Go endless Twitter posts. Come on, endless tweets.
As we said, this is going to be a playlist-centric episode.
So 2 hours later, we finally hit our playlist.
Brian, what the hell have you been playing?
I don't know. It's been 2 hours. I completely forget. No, seriously. So I actually had the pleasure of receiving 2 games ahead of their releases. Actually, 2 games I got actual press codes for to actually play. The first one I'm going to talk about is Victorum, which you can actually see my first 2 videos of on YouTube right now. If you go to the Addicted to Loot YouTube page, you can actually see both of them right freaking now.
Holy shit, I love this kind of immediacy.
Victorum, how do you describe Victorum? Victorum is, it's a procedurally generated action RPG, specifically focused around sorcery and magic, specifically. I guess that might be the best way of saying it. And to top it all off, the best way I can list this game, it's a roguelike.
That's an actual genre.
Well,
that's a legitimately recognized genre.
Like it reminds me of ATL, but without the repeat benefit of replaying.
FTL, because we're ATL.
Yes.
Okay.
FTL, sorry. It's basically the same thing. So you're a sorcerer who plays the role of stricken by vengeance. All he wants to do is before he dies, he wants to murder the guy who destroyed his order, basically. He's the guy who's going out, giving away bubblegum and ass kicking eats all out of bubblegum. You know, that kind of guy. He's the old timely salty cop who's just like, I've seen some shit and they will die. Like, I don't play by anybody's rules. I need to know where the Inquisitor is. Would you like to buy a bunny? Whoosh! Like, that kind of guy. So instead of playing like an RPG where like you start out with minor powers, you don't know what you're doing, you kind of level up, you learn a spell, it's great. You literally start out with being a badass. Like, you start out with, here's a freaking fireball spell, go burn a village. Like, it literally is like, it throws you in right there and you just get better. Now, I seriously love this game. I really wholeheartedly love this game. Now, I have to say, before I can say anything, I cannot cast a review of this game until it is fully released, which actually might already be fully released, but I have to double check. There is a review embargo, so all I can say right now is talk about the fact that it is a game and it's out there, so go please check it out on YouTube videos. So I can't really say any hardcore reviews until
your completely neutral opinion is
completely neutral. So I'll just talk about exactly my experience without any reviews. The powers feel great. There's a really deep looting system. The fact that you collect loot, you can go into houses, you can loot the houses, you could put on different loot. There's different gear scores, like, you know, gray, blue, pink, purple, whatever. They do better things. You can modify them, you can enhance them. The one really cool thing about this game is the destructive environments. Like, there's a house. You can simply just walk through the front door and you go into like a first-person view, because this game is third-person. If you go through a door, so as soon as the game detects you're in an enclosed environment, you go first-person. Then you walk through the house.
And it's not jarring?
Not bad.
Like, you get used to it kind of thing?
You move because you move the same speed inside and outside, so that's a little much. If they slow down the speed while indoors, it would work, but I don't know how they would physically do it. Because you can just go in through the front door, like, you literally have a button that says, like, blow open the door. You force blow open the door, it flies to the other side of the room. You just, like, telekinetic, get out of my way door. You go around, you can loot the room, you go back out. Or 1,000% destructible. You could just blow a firebolt through the wall, and the entire house would disintegrate, like, if you really want to.
Yeah, more of that in games.
The main thing is, the debris is your worst enemy in this entire game. I have not died by a single person, but debris has butchered me many times. The other thing is,
I'm gonna blow you up a wagon wheel.
Since they have the mechanic of going third person to first person, third person to first person,
yeah.
If you blow open the house, it has no idea what you are. So it's like that gets really dark. So you either need
What is Earth but not a giant house?
So you either need to...
What is the sky but not a giant round roof?
So you either need to destroy the house 0%, meaning you walk through the front door, or you need to wipe it to the ground. Like, that's the only way that makes this
This would be a
playable.
shitty game for us to co-op, because it'd be like, now Tom, don't touch anything. I touched everything.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like... And I actually think you get better loot if you don't destroy the houses, which is interesting. But... And there's... So with all that being said, the action is really great. It's actually very difficult. The AI has some of the best tracking I've ever thought in my life. Like,
really?
I'll be sprinting, and they lead me perfectly if I don't move. Like, it is just, like, right on the money. So you're sitting there constantly bouncing. You have, like, blink abilities. You're using them to get around people because they will hit you and they hurt. Like, everyone you face is either, like, you know, soldier, archer, mage, so on and so forth. And one really cool thing, since this game, you are a mage. You physically don't have melee attacks. You only have spells. One cool thing is each spell has the option to be modified in 3 different ways. Like, for Fireball, for instance, you have, like, high velocity, multi-shot, high impact. It's this triangle that goes on the screen. You could, like, hold your right mouse button, this triangle appears, and you can actually go to each corner, so you could do, like, a maximum size spell with every single buff on it. It drains your mana real quick, but you can do it, and you can actually see the reticle of, like, the potential, like, area of destruction. It's freaking huge. Or, based on your situation, you can just choose one of the corners real quick. Just like, you know what, that guy is super far distant, so I really need high velocity. Just, boom, I don't need anything else, and just, like, you snipe him. So, it's really cool, and you can do that for every spell you learn. You can learn different types of glyphs. Like, you can do glyphs that, like, whenever I cast a spell, I only ever want it centered on me. Or, like, things like that. High explosion, slow, fast, extended duration, all those fun things. So you actually treat your spells as almost like enhanced possible weapons and things like that. I'm trying to think. There's games that have done this in the past, but I can't think of one right now. I had one on the tip of my tongue. But either way, just like FTL, you know, you start out on like a mountaintop and you choose which mountaintop to go to. But behind you, there's the Inquisition, and you need to stay ahead of them because if they catch you,
oh yeah, just like FTL.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it doesn't have the repeat play mechanic of FTL, which is why it's a roguelike, I guess. You know what I mean? If you replay it, you just replay it. It's not like you keep the stuff or you gain experience. You just replay it. So that's why it's a roguelike. I played about like the first map based through procedural generation, merchants, and all other fun stuff. I really like this game. I really like this game. This is a game that I would probably say for full price after full release, go play it. I mean, it is a great little game. I like it a lot. There's some things that the press beta showed me that definitely need work before I'd say it's an amazing game. But this is a very, very good indie title. I would wholeheartedly agree. This is a
it sounds like
great indie
someone
title.
Was inspired. Liked. Someone was inspired by Skyrim's mage
kind of
options, you know.
Maybe. But like I said, definitely go check out the YouTube page. I have 2 videos up now that guess so far into the first playthrough. If people want to see more, I'm probably gonna do them anyway because I love the series. I love the game. I want to play more, but please let me know and I will keep it going. Really great game. Highly recommend it. Go check it out for yourself and let me know if you actually like it too, because I'd love to hear what people think about it. Woo! So, with the next one, Solstice Chronicles MIA. This is a game from Ironbound developers, which brought, oh my god, the Red Faction games. I think they made the Red Faction games.
Okay.
I think it was the Red Faction games. They
I thought that was
no, maybe it's not the Red Faction
THQ.
games. Maybe they were the developers of another big name. There's a earlier game title that was a huge hit that I thought also included Solstice in the title. That was more well known than this current game, but regardless, as Tom goes to figure that out. Solstice Chronicles.
I'm looking.
Solstice Chronicles MIA by Ironbound developers is a twin stick shooter. It's kind of like a twin stick dungeon crawler shooter that has a skill build system as well as a gear system. So it's kind of RPG-ish, but it's kind of, you know, it's a story on rails, but each mission is a dungeon, if you will. The dungeons are the same. You're always going to get the same area map and kind of sort of the same things happening. But it's a twin-stick shooter that's extremely well done. This is a guilty pleasure, fun shoot-'em-up game where shit comes at you from every direction, and you are a big hulking mass in a giant mechanical suit with big guns trying to stay alive. You have this cool little drone that flies over your shoulder and is extremely self-aware, funny kind of thing. But they come with abilities. They can do shield abilities, taunt abilities, things like that. Like, it adds a whole new section to this game. One of the things that's unique to this game is they have like a threat meter up on the corner of the screen, on the top of the screen. Depending on the color and depending on the size is depending on how many things spawn when a spawn occurs. Like, if it's red and it's a really high bar, that means all the spawns are active, and whenever they do activate, when you trigger, like you walk through a door that triggers a spawn, it's going to be a ton. Sometimes you can just get that red bar really way down so that whenever it happens, there's only a few that come on screen. You could do it where that red bar now becomes yellow, meaning that you got rid of the spawn itself, but there's still a lot of guys on the screen. Depending on what you do with your drone, you could increase and decrease that meter for different reasons. Oh, hey, this is too much, I need to survive. You lower the meter. You use something like shield. It drops out the meter, lowers your threat level. I really want more loot. I can do the taunt ability.
That's interesting.
It shoves the meter all the way up and brings out different types of loot.
It's like you're making your own difficulty.
Exactly. It's really interesting. And it's fully co-op supported, which this game would be absolutely perfect for co-op. Once again, my first video of this series is up on YouTube. I will put the second one up probably starting tomorrow morning. I will load that just for people to see. Once again, this is a game that I really, really love. It's a game that just feels right. The twin stick action just is really, it's really comforting. Like, things happen.
You are playing it with a controller.
Yeah, I'm doing full-on 360 controller twin stick. It feels right. The way the weapons handle are exactly what you'd expect them to do. But one cool thing that this game does, usually in a twin-stick shooter, it's always a line. You know, you're pointing in this direction. If your gun has a spread, the spread's going to be in this direction, but you don't really know what the spread is. In this game, if your gun has a spread, it gives you a cone. So when you point at an area, you know the bullets will hit somewhere within these two lines when you point at it. The closer they get to you, obviously, the smaller the spread.
Sure.
I love that little mechanic. It's just like a little detail that just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, a little feedback thing.
They put a lot of care in this game, and you can really tell that they have. I really enjoy this game. I'm playing one of the classes. My class is called a Hellfire class, which basically is my permanent secondary weapon is a flamethrower that has unlimited ammo, but it uses stamina. So like if I stand there just shooting, my stamina meter will slowly go down. This is a game that features sprint, throws, you have ammo, you have weapons, you have different abilities, you have different, like, you can bring grenades, flares, a class ability, so on and so forth. There's a lot to like about this game, and it's a game that I think would really shine in co-op if the number of enemies increased with number of players. This would be an extremely fun game. I really like this game. I'd recommend this just about to everyone.
See, I'm not a huge fan of twin stick shooters. Do you think that?
I'm trying to think what other games would this be similar to. I don't know, it's basically like to me it feels like a good dungeon crawling hack and slash game, but instead of swords and shields and bows, you just have a machine gun.
Like, so it's like Gauntlet kind of feel, or
no, it's grittier than that. It's kind of there's games I know, but I don't know if they're games that you would know.
Alien Swarm?
Alien Swarm's a good one. Alien Swarm's a good one, just not as technical.
Which is a great free game that
unfortunately they just didn't keep up with. But
yeah, we both like it though.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Alien Swarm, but obviously more dark, more gritty, more. You are a guy stuck on Mars. Everyone else is dead. You're the lone survivor, kind of thing. People got left behind.
Just another Wednesday.
Yeah, you're trying to get your ass off the planet, kind of thing. So, because nothing good happens on Mars. Nothing ever happens on Mars that's good. So that's kind of the setting of it. So there's like a mutation outbreak. So that's really what you're fighting. It's just huge. There's a bunch of filler monsters, and then every once in a while, if your threat gets high enough, there's monsters that take freaking forever to kill. Then there's boss monsters. So it's just, to me, it just feels like a good, dark shoot 'em up. Like there's a loot mechanic and things like that. I don't know. I really like it. I personally can play this game by myself for hours. I don't know if people who aren't into standard twin stick shooters would really be into it.
Sure.
If you're gonna try one, it's an extremely polished one. I definitely would recommend it. It's an all-out.
It's a good
game.
example of the genre.
Yeah, it's an all-out, just all completely overall good game. Love it. Couldn't speak highly enough. Go check out the videos. You won't be disappointed. Really, really, really good game. So that's Solstice Chronicles MIA by Ironbound. Whew, final game. Dreadnought. You might remember me talking about Dreadnought a while back for the very first beta.
I do. I remember.
He was there. You guys were there. Maybe. Dreadnought is a...
It's only been like 3 podcasts.
Dreadnought, the original beta, which is what I originally reported on way back when. It's kind of like if World of War Tanks or War of Battleships... World of Tanks, War of Battleships, and things like that. Whatever those games are called. Basically, it's like that, but if you used like battle class capital ships, like dreadnoughts, battleships, cruisers, corvairs, spaceships. Like you are in a space universe.
World of War Tanks.
Something along those lines.
Plane of tank war.
Clash. It's somewhere in that random word generation title, but
Clash of Farm.
If you remember, my very first time playing this game in the original beta, I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. I just didn't see there's a lot of longevity to it. I kind of liked how they were going with it, but it had promise, but I just didn't really get into it. Maybe with the right person, it was kind of fun. I just didn't see a lot of replayability of it. Clash of Tankcraft Souls 4. Oh god.
Game of the year.
I saw
calling it now.
I saw a Let's Play video on the newest beta of it. Thought, you know what? I'll jump back into it to see what happens. A lot has changed for the better since the first one. There's a better tech tree. It's still free to play. The graphics are better. Oh god. The graphics are better. I think the ship variety's better. But I still just see a really shallow ceiling to it. Like, I see it getting repetitive really, really quickly. Like, there's 3 races, or like 3 classes or manufacturers. Each one produces a conveyor, battleship, dreadnought, utility ship, and an assault, or no, like, they're artillery ship. So there's 5 classes. So there's 5 classes with 3 manufacturers, so 15 ships, and then there's multi-tiers of them. Some have 5 tiers of one ship, others only have 2 or 3. So it depends on which class you're doing, depending on how you want to do it. And to unlock each class, you have to play so much of the class before it. So even if you want to be a Dreadnought player, you might have to play Battleship in order to unlock the next level of Dreadnought you want. Or, oh, I want Dreadnought, but I want it in the first race instead of the third race. I need to backtrack my way up, play this ship, and unlock everything in front of it to get to it. So it's basically a grind fest for a large amount of this. It's a free-to-play game that ultimately is you better enjoy yourself while you're playing the VBP because you're just going to be grinding and grinding and grinding.
That's like those.
Same thing with World of Tanks and the Battleship one, whatever the hell it's called. Very, very similar. You're not going to be, if you're familiar with those games, no surprises here. It plays well. The abilities are fun. The graphics are great. It handles amazingly well. Maybe not realistic.
That's huge. Yeah.
It's definitely not realistic by any means, but it handles extremely well. The little nuanced animations, like if you're, what the hell is it called when you move in plane?
Strafing?
Strafing. When you strafe, if you look closely enough, you can see the tiny little jets go whoosh.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Or if you like reverse, you can see thrusters going backwards. Like,
oh, I love stuff like that. Yeah.
When you use an ability where, like, you know, your 2 main guns, like you have like an auto cannon and then like a quick fire cannon. When you toggle between them, they'll rotate and go down, and the other ones will rotate and come up. Like, there's just little nuances where it's like the ship handles exactly how you think it would. When you go to activate your missile pods, they all like unfold, go down, the missiles come up, they shoot out one by one, and then it all goes up and like folds over.
That's my shit.
Yeah,
I love
it's so great. Like, there's so many little things to love about it. I just can't stop seeing the low ceiling of how much time will my fun actually last, and how much will the same type of combat still feel fresh to me. It's good, it's polished, it's fun, but every Dreadnought's still going to function like every Dreadnought. The battleships are still going to function like the battleships. Like,
it comes down to, are you enjoying the loop?
If this is your favorite type of battling, great, perfect game for you. I'll still play it because it's free to play and it's a solid game. I just don't know how long I'll play it. That's the main problem.
And actually, I feel the opposite about Everspace, which is, you know, it's a roguelike game where very quickly you're going to realize everything that you're going to be doing. But I like it. I like the way it feels. The little incremental upgrades are enough to keep me saying, yeah, I'm going to pop into this. I'm going to play it a little bit more. It's not a game that I'm going to grind out, and it doesn't want you to grind it. It wants you to gently caress it at opportune times. Bread and Butter is asking if we've tried Unreal Tournament 4. I actually have. Yeah. It's good.
I like Unreal Tournament, I haven't played it in a while, but it was the good old days of, I remember the original
it felt good.
Tournaments and stuff like that. I mean, to me, it's kind of like, you know, if do you want to play a game like Quake that's not Quake? Unreal Tournament, you know.
Kind of I mean, Unreal Tournament, definitely Unreal carries a lot of nostalgia weight with it. And I think that they're doing a great job with 4, or with the current one.
Yeah.
I don't really have, like, I have other games that are filling that niche, but if I didn't, I'd probably play it. Yeah, I like the feel of it. I like quick FPSs, and it's definitely harkening back to that era. So, yeah, I could vouch for it. I do like the fact that it is being designed kind of as like a crowd effort. That's a cool little thing. But But sorry, was there anything else you felt like you wanted to say on?
That was mainly it. If you like the World of Tanks and stuff like that, this is a game for you. It'll be fun. People who just like sci-fi, capital ship combat, go check it out. It's a super polished game. There's little nuances that you'll really like for quite a long time. It'll carry you through the first couple levels and stuff like that. The different types of ships, the battleship and the dreadnought really feel like they're the same thing. Just one has more health, one has more damage. The other ones definitely are completely different, so they do offer unique play style. So there's enough there to say the first couple levels of each different class might still be fresh and be worth it to you. But go check it out. I'd like to hear what other people say, but I'll definitely be willing to play it. I'll keep it downloaded for a little while. Someone just ping me if they want to play up. Woo! With that, we will go into the Tom Malady portion of this playlist.
It's really funny that Bread and Butter is asking, do you play Overwatch? Because yes, and I'm about to talk about Overwatch, but like the least Overwatch part of it. Yes, we're fans of Overwatch here at Addicted to Loot. We've talked about it a lot. And there's nothing really new that I can add. I haven't played Doomfist yet. Actually, I still haven't even played Orisa yet. But the summer games are back. We talked about this last week, and so I've been playing Lucio Ball for the past 24 hours of my life. Past 36 probably at this point.
If you follow him on Twitter, you will know this.
Yeah, I love
play.
I love Lucio Ball.
Get video.
I don't know why I love it, because a lot of people don't. But
it's basically
that seems to be what Bread and Butter just said. Lucio Ball is, I suck at it. That seems to be the thing. A lot of people say, I don't enjoy it. I don't like playing it. And that's fine. That is absolutely fair.
For those who don't know, it's Rocket League, but with Overwatch characters.
Yeah, and I guess slower seems a lot of people. I haven't played Rocket League, but people seem to say it's like Rocket League, but slow and with it's like Skyrim with guns. It's like Rocket League with, Lucio. You're controlling 2 teams of 3 Lucios each. There's a giant low gravity ball in the middle of this soccer field, and you are trying to score in the goal. Very, very much a soccer or football mentality. I like it. I love Lucio. He's my guy. He's who I play as. He's my main easily. Like, I looked at the stats, and it's like it tells you how much you've played of each character by a bar graph. It's like Lucio's the full thing, and then the next is like Pharah is like 10%. And then it's like a little Torbjorn, a little Tracer, and then like everyone's just microscopic of how much I've played to them. So, and I've played a lot of everybody, but obviously Lucio the most. If you're in Overwatch to get, skins and loot boxes, Lucio Ball is a way to... in my experience, it's about a 50-50 win rate. It does seem pretty split down the middle. Certainly if you're on a shitty group of people, you just leave after the match and try and it will rejigger it, but it's really funny. I really enjoy Lucio Ball, and I wish it was a regular mode, like constantly something that you could play, or its own spin-off game. Yeah, I know, Rocket League. I've had some really funny experiences with it, as Brian was saying. I've got some highlights. My favorite one, like, I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit here. So when you spawn in, one of 3 locations. You got 2 people up front and 1 person in the goal. Typically, it seems like the proper thing to do is whatever you spawn in, that's your position. So if you spawn in goal, you're the goalie for this bit. Okay, be there. But sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes the person who spawns in goal just goes ahead. And there's not a lot of communication, so you don't know if the person's just like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to be here. That's fine. But I think sometimes people just don't know that that's sort of like the etiquette that's sort of come up around this thing, the silent etiquette. So this was happening, and like multiple times the guy wasn't in goal. So I said, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'll go in goal. I'll do it. That's fine. He wants to go up front. Go for it. I'll go in goal. I went in goal. Not 2 seconds later, the ball came towards me. You use Lucio's subwoofer gun to shoot it. I hit it, and it went straight into the other team's goal. And it just was the ultimate like mic drop of like, what? Fine. You don't want to be goalie? I'll be goalie. Boof. That's how you do it, son. So that was my little proud moment. I had like 2 other highlights that were just you get a lot of cool, fun trick shots, mostly ones that you don't intend. It's just like, oh shit, that went in. Like there was one point where literally, this is up on my Twitter too. You have the countdown. It's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I went up, I hit the ball, and it went in the goal. It's like, go. It's like, did the other team not load? Like, I'm not good at this. What happened? So, but it's a lot of fun. It's funny. I've mentioned this earlier, but the way it seems to go, like a lot of people, a lot of games in general tend to have a lot of competitive multiplayer games tend to have toxic communities. Overwatch, we've talked about before how like the all random heroes brawl is really good for lessening that, because everyone's kind of going in on it levels the playing field. You're going to get stuck with a hero that you don't like eventually, or that you're not good with. So it's hard to really fault anyone. It's like, man, you were so shitty with that Zenyatta. Dude, I've never even played Zenyatta. Like,
that's what the best fun about random heroes is. It takes the salt out of it.
Yeah, well, it takes the salt out of it. It lessens
kind
the
of.
salt.
Yeah, it lessens it, yeah.
It's like someone who's trying to watch their, sodium intake. And it's like, okay, I will just have one McDonald's French fry instead of the whole thing. It's still salty as fuck. But Lucio Ball, it's like I was saying earlier, if you're winning or doing okay, like there have been some great matches where we have gone into overtime 0-0. That's the best kind of matches, because you are just boom, 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 boom. Everyone is playing evenly. And there's a lot of positivity. There's a lot of, like, oh, nice shot, like more than you see in the usual Overwatch. Like that was cool. And, I'll try and throw a little bit in with the team, try and do my part of like, that was awesome. That was a great save and stuff like that. But if people aren't doing well, it tends to be, instead of you suck, it's this game mode sucks. And that's really interesting to me. Like that, the complaint is, I suck at this game mode. And I've had guys like where the ball will go past them, they're the goalie, goes into the goal, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And it's like, dude, it's just, why do you have to be mad? It's a video game. Like, don't worry. I'm not going to rip on you. Nobody should be ripping on you here. There was a point where like, one of the guys on our team knocked it into our own goal, and the other guy that was on our team said, everybody gets one. It's just like, I'm like, that's the attitude. Like, it happens. But I don't know. I actually really like Lucio Ball. I played a lot of it. I've probably played 50 games of it so far.
Only.
Yeah, it's running until the end of... Yes, Bread Butter gets it. Why do you have to be mad? That's a Zarya voice line now, which is really funny. I think it's running until Monday, the 28th, at the end of the month. So, this is obviously getting...
Destiny 2.
Yeah, just in time for Destiny 2. This is obviously getting you summer loot boxes. The skins are hilarious. They're some of the most self-aware, like, Soldier 76 is full Dad 76 now. He has sandals with socks. He has a barbecue apron. He's got, his gun has a salt shaker on it because it's an assault rifle. It's like, he's like Grill Master 76, I think is the skin. Reaper is like a biker, and it says like Edge on his leg. It's just like, it's great. I love it. It's a ridiculous game. I love Overwatch. Really, it's my favorite competitive shooter to come along in as far back as I could think. Really, it really is. I enjoy
even
playing.
Sauerbraten.
I never really played. Yeah, I never really played Sauerbraten. Assault Cube.
Assault Cube, that's what it was.
Assault Cube and Sauerbraten, I never really played much of. They were very Quakey, Unreal Tournament-y.
That's right.
It's funny that you say that, Bread and Butter, because the Bread and Butter says the characters have so much depth, unless you're being sarcastic, because I have heard a lot of people say, I hate how Overwatch doesn't have, like, a meta-narrative.
They're like, story's God.
Yeah, where's my story? And it's like, oh.
Pay attention and you find it.
Yeah, it's there. It's there enough if you want it to be there, and it's not there enough if you don't care about it. I like them. I like their skill sets. I like the unique, colorful nature to it. And like, I just, this was my first time playing since the Chinese New Year stuff. And just to have the menu fire up and to hear the music and to see the, like, the characters posing on the title screen, I was like, I like this game. This game makes me feel happy to be in it. Sometimes I like just literally going to the hero screen and just looking at the skins and animations and stuff. Like, not even playing. Just, these are cool. This is aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, it's a lot like TF2. It's, TF2 has that kind of, well, there doesn't have to be lore, but boy, is there if you want there to be. Like, TF2's lore goes deep. It gets really twisty. Nah, Overwatch is great. I vouch for it. What else have I been playing? Brian, what else? Oh, yes.
Why are you asking me?
I talked about this earlier. I played Lenny Loose Jocks in Space, and I wanted to talk about it because this is a game that you could still play now. What? Epitasis. I'll talk about Epitasis after. Okay. I'm sorry, I threw out the order. I've ruined everything. Lenny Loose Jocks in Space is a platformer, an adventure game, very much in the vein of classic LucasArts adventure games, but without the difficulty. It's mostly puzzle solving by way of throw this switch, open that door, go up here, press that button, come back around, go through here. It's very straightforward, but it's got a nice sense of humor. Basically, you're Lenny Loose Jocks, who in 1998-99, he was this Flash game character, a hapless Australian sort of a dope character, just was this dense guy, like, oh, Lenny Loose Jocks, and he walks like big flappy arms and stuff. Just was a funny cartoon character. And what happens is this game bills itself as the online real-time space adventure, and so you had 4 real-time hours from when the game started. A bomb was placed on every planet in the solar system. You had to go out and defuse them. I beat the game when I played it on Monday. I think I beat it in 2 hours, and that was playing the game, taking the occasional screenshot, posting it on Twitter, going to the bathroom, coming back. Also having played the game years, like I played it when I was 8, so I still had knowledge from that period of time. I think you can easily probably still do it in the 4 hours, but it's fun that that's an element of like, oh gosh, once I've started, I've got to beat this or everybody blows up. And it's just, actually, it was funny. It was giving me nostalgia for No Man's Sky because the planets are colorful. Like, they each have their own unique thing. Like, Neptune was a breeding ground for, like, nuclear waste-infused cows. And so there's, like, these purple cows with these stink lines and this blue atmosphere and yellow sand and stuff like that. There's like one of the challenges is, I think it's on Venus, maybe, has these giant mushrooms, and there's like one gap between the mushrooms, and what you keep hearing in the background, there's like, ah, ah. And if you stand between the gap of the mushrooms, like pterodactyl will pick you up and put you to where you need to be. So it's that kind of like, not hard, but will scratch your brain a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's just it's colorful, it's delightful. You can go play it. Just look up Lenny Loose Jocks and you'll probably find it. I think it's on the original developer's website, which is eZone. These 2 brothers, I believe, that made it. And also there's Lenny Loose Jocks Goes Walkabout, which is the original game, which is a top-down, much more complex kind of thing. But Lenny Loose Jocks in Space always had a special place in my heart. Epitasis also gave me nostalgia for No Man's Sky. This is the other game that I started to play. This is a puzzler, like The Witness, Talos Principle, Portal, where you're picking up a cube to put it on a block, which opens up a door, and a laser beam comes out, but you can only put the cube here. So how do I get the laser beam to come from here to go over there? That kind of stuff. Not as complex as something like The Witness or Portal, but definitely very, 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 very beautiful. I really like the way it looks. It's a first-person thing, so you're walking around this nice pastel. It's an environment that looks like it would go with the music of Taiko, if anyone knows that. It's very proggy, Again, pastel colors, a lot like No Man's Sky. I don't usually like puzzlers, but I like this. I'm happy to continue playing more of it. I think this is a demo for it that I'm playing, and it's on Kickstarter right now. Don't quote me on that. I will have the details on our website when we do the actual post for this. But that's called Epitasis, and I believe I downloaded it through itch. And it's, yeah, if you don't really like puzzle, like I dinged right off The Witness. Portal was fine. Portal 2, there were a couple of puzzles where I was like, I gotta go find a walkthrough. This, so far, I only stopped because I ran out of time to play it. I was like, okay, I'm figuring these out. These are tricky, but not like The Witness just frustrated me, man. I was looking at that stuff. I was like, I don't know what the shit you want me to do here. I can't. This is made for people who know this kind of thing. It's like picking up a crossword puzzle and never doing a crossword puzzle in your life. You're like, okay, you know. But if you do crossword puzzles, you're like, or Sudoku probably is a better example. That's probably a much better example. You pick up a Sudoku and you're just like, what? No, why are there numbers? What do I do with the freaking numbers? Jeez. So yeah, this is a cool little thing. Epitasis. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Sure.
I also played literally just before we started streaming very little bit of a game called Grid Retro Enhanced. This is I don't know what you call this genre. It's when you're going forward down a line. It's not a rhythm game, but you're going forward down a path and you're shooting things as they come up in a 3D space.
Like, you know, you're on a rail, but you're like pointing and shooting.
Yeah, and you're going forward. It's like an endless runner type thing, but you're going straight. Like Thumper, but that was a rhythm game. You know, it's like those games. You know, the
with
Guitar Hero, but you're shooting. You're a ship. It was fun. It was fine. I enjoyed what I played of it, but I really want to give a shout out to the music. 80s synthwave to the max. Hell yes. So good. It's got that neon grids and lasers and mountains kind of vibe. It is doing that look, and it does it well. This is a free demo that is available on Steam that you can go play called Grid, that's 2Ds, Retro Enhanced. The kind of game where you get as far as you can and then you restart. I liked it. The only reason I stopped playing is because we had to start doing this stream. So
goddamn podcast. Oh, it's getting in the way of the damn video gaming.
Damn video game podcast. But I liked it enough that I wanted to give a quick shout out to it. And the last game that I played is interesting. This is something that I want to treat with a slightly more serious nature than I usually do. It's called Everything is Going to Be Okay. That's the title of it. This is on itch. It is billed as like a zine, like an underground magazine kind of thing. This is incredibly fascinating to me. This is a compelling thing. I like playing stuff like this every now and then. This is definitely a very personal thing. Looking at your reaction, you must be looking at screenshots of it right now. Yeah. A quick preface is that this is a series of very specific one-off little scenes that you play. They're quote-unquote the pages of this digital magazine. They're presented kind of initially in a cutesy way, but with this very menacing, glitchy, oppressive kind of nature around it. Like there's this cute little bunny, and like the very first page of the zine, the bunny is falling and falls onto a field of like really rubbery, tentacly looking spikes. And he falls and he goes like, ouch! And you click the mouse and he jumps up and he goes, everything's okay! And then you click the mouse again and he's like, I'm happy! And so it's like presenting this cute thing. I thought, this is interesting. What is this doing? Are these just like one-off games? And then as you start to play it, you realize this is a series of statements and expressions by the creator on I don't know really what issues it's like. It's touching on depression, it's touching on mental I want to use the correct words here, but mental difficulties like self-confidence and things like that. Like there's one where there's a mirror, and the mirror's got this evil face on it, and the bunny walks up to it, and the bunny's like, I'm looking so fire today, and the mirror's like, you're fat, and you can click on it, and it's like, no, fuck you, I'm fire. You know, it's like there's another one where the bunny falls again on the spikes, and it's later on, it's much darker, it descends into darkness, and the bunny is impaled on the spike and is slowly falling. And every time it falls a little bit, it asks you, like, is everything going to be okay? And you can tell it, you're a strong rabbit, you'll be fine. And it's like, oh, thank you. And that falls a little further. Oh. Is everything going to get better? And it's like, oh, I see what this is like. Despite every good little thing you tell yourself, you're falling further on the spike. So it's a very serious kind of thing.
Wow.
Wrapped up in a fascinating presentation. So that's why I saved this one for last, because this is definitely dark. But, you know, we've talked about salad figures in this episode, so I don't know how much darker we can get. And Happy Tree Friends. This is like Happy Tree Friends, but with more of a purpose. So I don't know if I could recommend this. From a design perspective, yes, it is enthralling. It is compelling. It's captivating. What a great delivery of this kind of thing. But as far as like, I like video games, maybe I'll pick this one up. No, that's not what this is.
This is basically graphical artwork.
Yeah, it's like someone picking up like the Stanley Parable saying, I can't wait for a nice fun little romp and, maybe I'll shoot some guys.
I want an FPS Stanley Parable. Woo!
Yeah, hey, this looks fun. That is the opposite of what you're about to get, or Gone Home, right? Like something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm always a fan of these kind of things. This goes back to like Newgrounds. This is definitely a Newgrounds feeling thing. But what you see on Itch that you didn't really ever see much of on Newgrounds is these incredibly personal things. Like this is obviously a person talking about personal struggles, things that they've had to overcome, wanted to overcome. I am all for it. This is art. This is using art. This is something I would definitely say, okay, you are using a platform to produce art. Okay. So, yeah, that's called Everything Is Going to Be Okay. And it's interesting. It always veers between cute and dark all at once.
That's kind of cool.
And, of course, if you want to play any of these games that we have talked about or get more information on any of this random crap.
Figgatua?
Holy shit, we got a free game of the week. I am jumping ahead.
I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Tom, I mean, you already did it.
If you want to find out more information, you're just going to have to wait because we got one more segment for you.
We already did a couple free games as it is. But
yeah.
Our true Figgatua. So our free Gatua, for those who might just be joining us now.
Our free Gatua.
The people who are joining us for the first time on our audio podcast, the Figgatua is basically our little acronym for free game of the week, and in our minds that sounds like Figgatua. So that's what it is. It's probably horrifically wrong, but that's what we're doing.
We at ATL love our acronyms. OMG.
Woo! So, free game of the week this week is actually a game that we talked about last week, Cosmoteer. We just wanted to bring it back up again. We talked about it last week.
More people should play this game.
It's a really, it's kind of like a mix between Minecraft, ATL, and, oh my god, and just any other type of really high-paced, action-packed, strategy-based kind of ship builder. It's, you take a square, you put it on another square, you put on weapons, shields, power supplies.
It's a modular ship building
action game. Yeah. So
yeah.
It's a really good game. It's completely and utterly free. It's just for the developer is putting it out there for free because he just wants feedback on the game. So please go out, download it, write to the forums, say what you think about it. He wants honesty. It's a really super awesome, cool game. Go check it out. Just search Cosmoteer. It'll come right up. It'll give you a direct page download, or you can just go straight to Itch. Either or. Really great game. Highly recommended. Go
and
do
it's
it.
Free.
And if you play the endless mode, let us see your ship designs. I would love to see what people create.
Oh, yeah. Send us your ships.
And, of course, you can find all this and more at our website, which is addictedloot.com. From there, you get access to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and the audio versions of this podcast, which are available on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. You can also get access to...
Audio-only listeners, I just want to put in a little vouch. We love you guys. We are constantly trying to make sure we support both video and audio versions.
So please, if you ever write us a comment, review, email, anything, please just let us know maybe what format you're listening on, and if you have any technical feedback, please just tell us which, whether it's live, audio, or video. Please let us know.
Here's a tip. Get a real job.
With all that, you can also get access to our show notes, show links, and everything else. You can drop us an email at our group email, which is addictedtoloot@gmail.com. You can get our group Twitter, which is @addicted2. to Loot, which you can go just for standard updates on the show, when the show's going to be coming out, YouTube updates, Twitch updates, so on and so forth. You can get our individual Twitters if you just want to talk directly at us, follow us, or talk games, talk whatever's going on in our natural lives, or anything else like that. Mine is at ATL_Atomic Zero, and my compatriot over here is at TOMALITY. And as always, we have been Addicted to Loot. This has been episode 53, and as always,
keep it cutely dark.
You should have said keep it flashy.
Keep it flashy.